Welcome everyone to Our Town Podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, share if you can, and review if available. We'd love to hear from you, so comment below and tell us how we're doing. Don't forget to visit ourtownpodcast.com for all the links and join the members only section of the website or sign up on Patreon. Now here are the boys of Our Town Podcast.
Hey, how you feeling?
Oh, jeez. I'm feeling a lot.
Yeah. We got a call this morning. My in-law's dog died.
Oh.
Too. Cute little half pig, half... It's a pug.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, the snish and the curly little tail.
Yeah, they want to be friendly, right?
Yeah.
And they're nice.
Yeah. So that was kind of a shock. And of course, that
was unexpected?
Yeah. She'd been sick, but they didn't expect, they'd just gone to the vet like a day or two ago or something. But, man. Yeah.
Here's the jab.
Yeah. I think swimming in some river in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. So good.
Talk about it. So do you think she's done? I think she's done.
I think she's the best.
She's the best.
Thanks, kid.
The best. Well, welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Our Town Podcast.
Oh, extraordinary.
Yes, it is. Mike, episode 122.
Oh,
I know. It's pretty cool. We've been at this for, we're in our third year, right?
Jeez.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really nice. I appreciate you being here.
It's lasted longer than some of my marriages. We'll say that. Tonight, Gen X history after we do the headlines. So kind of cool. Fun. I didn't get this to you earlier, and I apologize for that. So tonight, in our bonus round, folks, if you go to the members only section or Patreon and become a sponsoring member of our program, we're going to do the top 5 things about Gen X.
Nice. So, that just make it so.
Yeah, just carry that theme right over. So go do it. It's $3 a month or like $30 a year. Which is,
it's incredible.
Like not even dinner out.
It's a lot of giggles.
It's a lot of giggles.
It's a lot of,
and it keeps Mike out of trouble and his cat's fed.
Yes, so appreciated. Dude.
Yes, Mike. Tonight's safe word is thruster.
Good.
So if you're not feeling safe, just yell out thruster. And I don't mean thrust her, I mean thruster. And we'll stop this here program. And you folks can play along at home too. Just yell out thruster, hit pause until you feel better, and then just
continue directly back into that same pool.
Same pool. That's because, and we've talked about the Voyager 1 a few times on this program because it's such a fascinating story. The interstellar spacecraft, they've repaired the thrusters from billions of miles away, because I think it's like 15 billion miles away from Earth. Yeah, and it's been up there for over 50 years, right? Or almost 50 years, 1977.
And has just been burned to a crisp, made it through a bunch of radiation belts, rocks. There's an infinite amount of weird shit around.
And alien, because there's got to be aliens trying to get to it. So the main thrusters went bad back in, I think, 2004, and they were worried about it, so they've been using the backup thrusters. And the backup thrusters, basically all they need to do is turn the unit so that the antenna points
so it can still
to Earth.
Receive commands.
Right. And so this past week, the Jet Propulsion JPL was worried because the backup thrusters are starting to go out too, and they're like, can we get the main thrusters to come back? And what they had to do, they had to turn it off, stop using them, because there's heaters inside there, and the heaters basically heat up the fuel lines. For lack, I'm not a jet propulsion laboratory guy, to keep them free of debris. So there's been a lot of buildup, and they weren't sure if they're going to be able to do it because that vessel's going to go under some kind of like months or year-long updates and stuff where they're not going to be able to really communicate with it. So they had to do this in a hurry, and they took a risky step in, let me get this right, they ended up doing like a reboot of the heaters in there that they didn't think.
They unplugged them and plugged them back in?
Kinda. I mean, because it's so far away.
Yes.
And it wasn't that the heaters, I guess, failed, that there was a glitch in the power distribution circuitry that may have flipped some kind of internal switch, cutting off electricity to those little heater units. And we're probably talking little tiny. So they ended up doing like a software upgrade to see if they could get it to work, and it ended up working. And the risk was that if they like turn the heaters back on, they get too hot too fast, that they could actually cause an explosion.
Oh, sure.
So, I mean, it would have ended the whole shebang right there, no pun intended.
Jeez, that's so they're, I don't know what the lag time is. It's at least a minute.
I think it's 23 hours.
No.
I think.
Wow.
I think it was 23 hours that they had to wait from the time they said go, like hit the enter button, until they knew that it was receiving command. So maybe it was a back and forth.
I would think, because they wouldn't know that it had received until the messaging came back.
Yeah.
But still, that's a long ways, because light from the sun takes minutes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it is out of our solar system at this point, right? The little Voyager 1.
Is it billions of miles away?
Yeah, I think it's traveled 29 billion miles in its lifetime.
But some of that's in a circle.
Yeah, it's like 15 away from us at this point.
That's incredible.
Which is just crazy to think.
And you still have enough of a bead on it. You know what I mean? Because it has a tiny little, like, decaying nuclear pile for energy, is my guess.
What is it? Radioisotopes or something?
Yeah, but that's just watts. That's a few watts to work with. That's not like it's a nuclear submarine, dude.
Yeah.
No, it's just putting along, doing a bunch of shit from the 70s, but from the 60s, really. Yeah. Because they got launched in the 70s. No, that's pretty impressive.
That's really impressive. And I can't get a washing machine that'll last me more than 5 years. Or refrigerator.
And the stresses are different. Put up on this thing would have obliterated with any kind of like poof. If it would have, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like you say, the
small little ice particle or something hits it.
And I bet, because it's the warmest thing in its neighborhood by a lot, right? So how does that change its surroundings? It's bonkers, dude. Yeah,
but
there's nothing warm out there.
There's nothing warm out there.
No, it's totally cool, dude. Yeah, with that cool gold record. Is that on Voyager 1 or 2?
I don't remember.
With the one with the
Voyager 2 is still out there.
Yeah.
It's still, it's not as far out as Voyager 1.
Yeah. Remember the disappointment of seeing Star Trek the motion picture in theaters? It's like right after Star Wars, you're like, it's going to rock, dude.
And it is true what they say about Star Trek movies. It's like every other one is good.
Nice. Yeah.
And every other one sucks. So it's true. It goes all the way through.
Anyway, well, kudos to JPL.
Yes.
That's incredible.
It's very cool.
Yeah, that's
very
pretty
cool. So I'm sorry that was a long, safe word.
For
but
thruster?
Just yell out, thruster, if you're not feeling good. Oh, my. Getting into headlines. 1,346 days to go.
Oh, man. We'll see. We'll see.
And we're just going to go ahead and suspend habeas corpus.
Oh, man. It's just, and all of these things, Viktor Orban should have lasted this long, right? And who was the Spanish piece of shit from the 70s? Franco, man. Yeah. How did he last that long? Because once they set it up, it's really hard to pull it out, right? It is. They just kind of...
You pay off the right people.
Yeah, and just set it up so people can still vote.
Yeah.
There's just not any competition, right? And there's too little competition in the system we have now, the duopoly, obviously. But that's worse.
Yeah. That was Stephen Miller making a statement.
That guy needs to be in a
deputy
prison.
chief of staff, I think.
So he didn't have to get nothing. He just walked into the job.
Yeah.
What a terrible person.
And he's mentioned that this may have to happen, and there's not one person in his party that has
who
come
pushed
out
back on that
and said, yeah, we're not looking
Who's
at
the
that.
Kentucky, Rand Paul?
Rand Paul, but he didn't say anything about that. He has been pushing
he's
back
supposed
on
to be
a few things.
Yeah, he did about the taxes, I think. It's like
And the plane, I think.
Okay,
which we'll talk about.
Well,
in a bit
good. Jeez, I mean, for fuck's sake, are you kidding me, man? And these guys are always like, we're mavericks. Where we at? It's like, that's not being a maverick. And, bonkers. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Stephen Miller's a terrible American and a terrible human being.
Yes.
But he's a piss-poor American, right? And I just don't get it. I don't get the whole, I don't get it, but I think I forget about racism.
Yeah.
I think racism has colored his vision so much. You know what I mean? And I just don't. You know what I mean? It's a weird cult.
I didn't put it on here, and I'm sort of fascinated by this, and I wanted to do more research on it, but the whole South African thing.
Yeah.
Because they sort of are really good at making up these untruths.
Yeah.
Lies.
It's a fiction. It's a whole
fiction.
A whole cloth. It's completely made up.
Where they're saying white
genocide. They use the word genocide
in South Africa, which is not happening.
It's simply not happening
at all.
Yeah.
So that they can bring these white
and give
South
them mass stuff. They
Africans.
get mass socialism when they get here, right? And isn't that always the thing?
Yeah. So they become quote unquote refugees.
Yeah, dude.
When you have a brown skinned person that's here for actual.
Yeah. And I think these are being labeled as farmers, and maybe initially they will be, but the most soldiers of fortune per capita. Guess where they're from?
Yeah.
Guess where they're from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They represent, I think it's 8% of the population in South Africa is white. Yeah. But they own like 90-something% of the land.
Oh, sure.
In that country.
Yeah, and in addition to that, because that is one of the walls to upward mobility for the citizenry, no matter what they look like, right? It's like, singular ownership, but just there also have been, specific laws of the state to prevent upward mobility, right? Which is just weird, man. And it's a weird flex because the evidence is in the United States since the FDR years, right? That rising tide lifting all of the boats is the superior economic system. Right. We've seen the evidence. Yeah. Right? It's obviously the quality of life for the citizenry, the length of life for the citizenry, both vastly improved in those years, right? And even more so after the civil rights legislation.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Productivity skyrocketed. Yeah. Right? Innovation skyrocketed. Right? Only to be kneecapped by the Reaganite cult. Yes. Right? Yeah. Which is that same kind of neo-feudalism that should be the very few controlling the very many, right? The same kind of ding-dong stuff that is contrary to the evidence. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. It sucks. It absolutely sucks.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so your point to the racism. Yeah, it's and the anti-Semiticness. And that's a big voting block that is sort of that, will they, won't they, Democrat, Republican, DR, is that Jewish vote, this American Jewish vote. And just to be blatant about it.
Yeah, no, and they got to remember that now that this administration they're not just white supremacists or whatever. There's some Nazi brand in there, right? So let's be honest, dude. The Jews are maybe the friend du jour. It won't last. That's not the first or last time that's come up, right? Where they're embraced for a minute, and then suddenly their property rights are gone. Happened many times. You don't think it'll happen again? Look who the bedfellows of this administration are, right? And now the leader in Syria, right? The new leader of Syria, and the Qataris and all this shit to the tune of $1 trillion. Now we're right. I don't know, dude. What the fuck is going on? Because these are not, and turning our back on Europe, the democracies of Europe. Right? It's just bonkers.
I don't get it at all.
And I understand that, the Gulf states have a lot of money. Right. No doubt. But there's more to posterity than money and profit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, what's it going to look like for our kids and grandkids, et cetera? What's their United States going to look like?
Yeah.
Right? Are they going to really want to be there? Or are they going to look to emigrate somewhere else? Are they going to be working on the giant golden cities of the Gulf states? Or are they going to have new golden cities of their own? Right? It's like, I don't know.
Oh, it hurts my head too to think about, man, because we're going to go back through later in the show talking about the history that happened in our lifetimes, right? The Gen X history, because it's sort of amazing that in all of human history, right? Even before we've been 10,000 years of actually sort of knowing and writing down history. We've been around for millions of years. And so we're a fucking speck. Our generation's a fucking speck, but so much stuff has gone on.
Has happened in that time.
No,
not like the Dark Ages or whatever. No, it's 400 years of just misery. You know what I mean? So it's like, and there were, of course, individual stories then.
Sure.
Of course. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, and so Gen X starts when?
1965.
Oh, okay, so including the Vietnam era.
Yes, Vietnam era.
Yeah, that social.
There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about that you and I probably don't remember, even though it happens in our generational lifetime kind of thing. But I kind of looked at 1965 through 2000 or 1999. I think is sort of where I ended. So, but we'll get into that. In the meantime, Mike.
Wait, there's more.
Speaking of guitar, whatever.
Yeah,
the jet, man, $400 million jet,
which is an absolute non-starter. It shouldn't even be a conversation.
Not just that, we're going to take this jet from Qatar and employ it into what amounts to I think it's the Air Force that controls Air Force One. Right.
I don't know, or Secret Service. And so I don't know. I really don't remember. I bet it's Air Force. That makes sense.
Not only are we talking about doing this, but he's talking about using it as Air Force One and then taking it with him when he goes. We're basically donating it to
so he
Trump
gets the
library.
Socialism of because let's just say that it was perfectly legal, that in the Constitution of the United States there was an annulment clause that is obviously at play here. Obviously. So let's just pretend that wasn't there.
Right.
But because he is the chief executive of the United States, the one great power on the planet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it has to be secret-fied.
Yeah.
So you got to tear out all this stuff, put a bunch of money into it, and that's socialism.
Yes.
So why should he get to keep that anyway?
Right.
Why would that be his property at that point?
Because that's what I was going to bring up.
Property.
Yes. I mean, we're going to take it in. Okay. I get it. We got the Statue of Liberty. I think Ann Coulter brought this up.
Yeah,
we got the Statue of Liberty from France. But it took a joint resolution of Congress
fair.
to vote on it and accept it, accept that gift from that country.
And it was Grover Cleveland? Who was that?
God, was it that long ago? Yeah, it could have been.
Maybe, but still, it's not like he took it home.
when he left. I'm going to put this in my pond out back,
I don't know, man.
He didn't. But it took Congress to approve taking that. So this plane, to your point, dude, not just getting that from Qatar for us to use. Okay, fine. We could get a plane from there. I don't recommend it because you don't know what fucking
they were a state
juju they're going to put in.
I thought they were on our list for state sponsors of terrorism anyway.
So we take it, and then to your point, we're going to throw millions of dollars into it
to retrofit
it as the defense mechanisms, the radar, the everything that needs to be retrofitted.
And so he gets to take this with him when he leaves. Then what about the next president? What are they using?
Right.
Do they have to get
go back to the old one?
Yeah, because are they going to mothball the old ones? And I thought there was a new, and Boeing right now is in a lot of difficulty, right? They can't seem to get any projects done. The tanker, remember the KC-335? Right? It's like, man, that's been going forever. And they're like, eventually we'll figure it out. So to build a new, Air Force One, but where else you go? We allowed the consolidation of that into one company, right? You can't go, Airbus make it our next one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, because Lockheed Martin and those, they don't do those. They don't do the...
Oh, I don't, not bigger
jets like that, no.
Yeah, to put into a B-52, we still used them somewhere.
It'll be the new Tesla.
Yeah,
Tesla retrofitted B-17 Flying Fortress. All electric until it runs out of power.
Yeah. They couldn't call it the Enola Gay, though. Can't use that word. Yeah, so what are they going to rename that when they re-educate everybody?
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't know, dude.
I mean, there's like 3 Republican senators that have come out and sort of said, no, this should not happen, right?
It can't. It simply can't.
It can't.
It simply can't. No, there's no. It is
just did not have
blatantly illegal.
A massive outcry about
Remember
this.
the peanut farm?
Yes, that Jimmy Carter had to give up.
They made him sell it.
Yes.
Yeah, because it just in case somebody was going to rule over peanuts.
Yeah. I just...
Oh man, it's just so much, and that was the thing where I remember, in the first administration, is that they just throw so much stuff out there that after a while you just can't.
Yeah.
It just overwhelms.
Yeah.
And they also are overwhelming the legal system, right? Which has been the Trump's playbook for a year. Just throw money at lawsuits over and over and over. Just bog it all down. Bog it. It's like, I don't know. And so I really want to start asking, what do we do? Assuming, that we survive this as a nation, and as a democracy. What are the repairs, and what's the new system look like? Right?
Yeah.
Because obviously this led us to this way too easily. So. How do we increase our democracy and our liberties and curtail the powers that have corrupted them?
And get back to the rule of law.
I'm cool with that as a start.
Yes.
Yeah, but some of the systems, now that they've been absolutely fucking obliterated, what do the new ones look like, and how can they be improved upon in their recreation, right? But that's what we should be asking ourselves, or there's no point in fixing this.
Right?
Yeah. Because then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like just getting the bastards out of power is the first step, and now a lot of these systems are...
Yeah, and who's to say the next Joe Blow?
Yeah.
Well, it worked there.
So, and just all... Oh, no, obviously.
Yeah, he's got his playbook, so it's not hard to follow.
Yeah. And it should have been much harder than it has been, right? But no, it went. I mean, it's been a 40-year build, right? With since Limbaugh, et cetera. And I mean, you could say it never stopped, right? Since Reconstruction.
Right.
Oh man. Anyway, so
cats. Cats. Yes. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I alluded to this earlier. He swam in a creek in Washington D.C. that has been deemed unsafe due to high levels of bacteria. And he's the Health and Human Services Secretary, right?
Sure, yeah.
But yes, with his grandkids in tow.
Yes, because I think his point is that a healthy human immune system is effective against a lot of pathogens.
Sure.
Okay. Does every single American citizen possess a 100% healthy immune system? No. For a myriad reasons. Are they still American citizens? Do they still deserve the same use of that office that he occupies as every other citizen?
No.
So what the fuck is he talking about? It means nothing. No shit, dude. Yeah, and if I were 8 feet tall, I'd probably be better at basketball than I am.
Sure.
It's not the case, right? It's like, why do these guys not get it? And what? What a sellout piece of shit. And I was yelling in my car about this today. It's like, what a sellout. What a sellout piece of shit, because he knows that.
Right.
He knows he's supposed to represent 330 million Americans, right? And he's not doing that.
He's not doing it.
And Tulsi fucking Gabbard, what a sellout piece of shit. So quickly jumped directly into the strong man's cabinet. And is just towing the line. Oh, unbelievable.
As
What
the,
a sellout.
National Intelligence,
Yes.
what's her title?
The Director of National. Are you kidding me? And just sold out.
Yeah.
Because evidently she's not a libertarian. She's an absolute authoritarian.
Mm-hmm. Well, she took her cues
Those don't go hand in hand.
Took her cues from Putin.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but wrapped in that libertarian garb.
Yes, which
disgusting.
is just dog shit.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got my problem with libertarians, right? But that's not one of them.
Yeah.
Right? The boot licking of authoritarianism isn't one of them.
Well, and that's
right?
not even what the definition of libertarian
No, it's the reverse.
It's the opposite.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah. But
in his defense, though, I think his worm needed
the bath. Yeah.
His brain worm needed to eat something.
What a disappointment.
Oh, man.
What a disappointment.
Well, don't yell thruster on this one, Mike. The Soviet Cosmos 482, which I think we talked about a couple episodes ago, has finally crashed to Earth.
It did?
That's what I hear. Somewhere in the Indian Ocean.
Oh, good.
Kind of an unknown spot, because they didn't know where the hell this was going.
Yeah. No, the map I saw, it just so happened, because Earth is mostly water.
Yeah.
But it really was over, it was like 50-50 chance. I'm like, how?
Which is amazing, because we can track, Voyager 1 15 billion miles away.
Yeah.
But
it's followed a predictable pattern. This one did.
This doesn't.
Yeah. I wouldn't say at all, but something happened to where not only was it falling back, but we weren't sure if it was attacked, so how that would affect its reentry and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It made the calculations way harder from what I understand. But that's what I mean. Unless it hits Godzilla on the head, he's all, I was sleeping.
Getting pissed.
It was all, but it was cool. I saw, I don't know if it's a photograph of it or what, but like before the launch or whatever. It's a neat looking probe, right? And I think they had more, because we had Viking, right? But I feel like the Russians had more successful Venus missions than we did.
And this one didn't. It sort of failed to get out of
to get out of our gravity. Because it's still a long way
stuck, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea if they used it for anything, or has it just sort of been up there just?
No,
I guess I'm not doing nothing.
It couldn't. It didn't know. I think it was a failed mission all the way around.
They just had it
It just
roaming.
Didn't. Nor did it smash into a bunch of shit that is being used, right? So. I mean, that's been up there for a minute. It's almost as old as we are, I think. I don't know. I'm not against space exploration by any means, even because I really do think that we can walk and chew gum, right? We could solve our social ills and still reach for the stars. We can do both, right? That's a false choice. We're just not doing both.
Right.
But really neat. Venus is rough.
Yeah.
So any of it. And it had a big bulbous protective shield for when it was going to drop into Venus, right?
Okay.
So it had a big, heavy.
With sensors that could calculate.
I bet the sensors were. I bet that heat shield would break apart after a landing or after it reached a certain slow speed or whatever, right?
This is like toxic.
I think it's a lot of ammonia and sulfur.
Just gonna
sulfuric acid or one of the acids.
Either way.
Yeah, I mean rough. It's a rough joint. Yeah. But the rent.
We're building housing. Come on, everybody. It's a long trip.
It's easier on the moon by far. By far. Venus, nobody's living on Venus.
Right. No.
Or that's just what they're telling us, bro. Maybe that is. It's like Club Med up in there.
Yeah. Mike, we were talking, we've talked in the past about some of these. One was the mammoth meatball, the mammoth creature from prehistoric time. And then either last week or a couple weeks ago, we talked about the dire wolf, the huge wolves being recreated from like an old jawbone. Well, the folks that brought you the mammoth meatball are onto something else. So scientists with a couple of different organizations, one called the Organoid Company, which sounds horrible.
I don't know if I could love that anymore.
And lab-grown leather are attempting to regrow T-Rex skin leather to make handbags
That's fucking
and
baller,
backpacks
dude.
and stuff like that. I mean, I always thought it was kind of baller to have like the snakeskin boots or the alligator.
It says something about the wear. It does automatically.
I can't pull it off.
I don't know what,
myself.
but it says something.
I can't pull it off.
And remember, this kind of genetic recreation, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm sure they're filling in missing chunks of the strands or whatever, but we're in its infancy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This is early in this technology,
really is,
man.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Because, it's a...
AI will
what's
take
the dinosaur
over before
movie?
then, but Jurassic Park, which is on like its 50th movie coming out this year. I think there's been so many iterations of it. So it's a Netherlands-based biotech company. They're using fragments of T-Rex collagen protein recovered from 80-million-year-old fossils.
What?
So they're going to recreate the protein and engineer the new DNA to specialized cells for leather production. So I have no idea what Gucci T-Rex handbag.
I guess it depends on how much it costs to make one. Because even the meatball or whatever, it's like, or just I guess lab-grown leather in general. I guess you could argue it's more moral, but is it within the price point? Can you make?
I don't know.
Because some of it's a byproduct of the meat industry in some cases, but not all. Right? Typically, they turn leather cows into something besides human food, right? But
so do they do? And I don't know this.
Retsin. That's where they get Retsin.
I don't do beef myself. I do have leather goods, just because leather is a good natural material, strong and all that stuff. Do they utilize meat cows or former dairy cows to make leather? Do they?
I bet in some cases, but certainly not all.
Not all cases,
Because some of the leather comes from places where and beef cattle are typically meant to grow muscle tissue, right?
Yeah.
And leather cattle are for something else. But something's either eating that or it's processed into something.
Yeah.
They're not just, they did.
They're not wasting it.
But they used to, right? With every single animal on this planet.
Oh, we just want the buffalo tongue.
Oh, it was insane, dude.
Yeah.
But that was a twofer because we were also starving out the locals, right?
True. Yeah.
So that was almost...
The smallpox doesn't get them.
Yeah, that was a little more diabolical. But no, the amount of waste, just like baby seals and shit or whatever. It's like, oh, fuck, what the fuck is wrong with people? It's like,
we're just so stupid. I'm all for it. I don't know what the cost of raising a cow versus producing it in a lab and being able to, because you don't have to feed it, you don't have to care for it, you don't have to have the land.
Yeah, because they do it with minerals all the time, diamonds, etc. In those different conditions. But if you could have something the size of a football field growing a giant, flats of leather or something, what the fuck? I get that. Or whatever passes as leather. Right, because I don't know. That's an interesting tech. I don't know what it takes to make that happen.
I don't know. Yeah, are they making like small little?
Wallet size.
Got a T-Rex wallet.
That's a trip, man. And what the fuck would T-Rex? I wonder what they felt like.
I don't know.
I'm not looking. Hi, Bessie.
Cal Worthington and his dog Spot. Well, speaking of turning things into other things, this is kind of fascinating. The old adage, like alchemists for years have been trying to turn lead into gold. Well, the Large Hadron Collider was able to do it.
No, it's about time.
And they weren't able to smash atoms together. They actually pulled atoms apart, or somehow they kept them close to each other, so that it actually turned leather into gold for the first time ever. Only happened for a split second, though, which is interesting. They created 89,000 gold atoms.
Wow!
In that second, scientists there found a way to knock 3 tiny particles called protons out of lead atoms by turning them into gold atoms. It happens, I guess, the atoms barely miss each other. So there's a powerful electromagnetic field around the atoms that can cause them to change into a different element.
That's pretty cool.
Each atom exists for only a tiny fraction of a second before breaking apart.
So you'd have to know exactly either the distance that either, strong nuclear force or whatever that is, it's going to be enough just to pull off 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right? Because however many protons, right?
So, geez. And it's got to be going at such a rate, right?
Yeah. But it's not the mass pulling them off. It's one of the nuclear forces, right?
Yeah. Jeez. It only made 29 pictograms.
Because the speed increases its mass. Is what we get to on that, right? Because the faster whatever they're spinning around. Yeah, this is how that works.
Yeah.
Time slows down, but mass increases, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. How do you do that?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
They didn't open a portal like the Mist yet, but that's coming. So 29 pictograms is what they were able to create for that split second, which is less than a trillionth of a gram. So you would need like trillions of times more to actually make a piece of jewelry.
Plus, it has $2 million in electricity. Like
shut down like half of Europe,
and it just shows that because that was a purposeful thing. Yeah. So they're showing the accuracy that they can perform, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I need to look that up. Jeez, that's a cool story. Yeah. And just the fact, that's altering stable elements, right? Those are both terribly stable fucking things, right? Yeah. Wow, that's neat.
It's crazy.
Huh? Can you chew on either of them?
Well, the lead, I'm sure you can. It's nice and soft. Once you get your saliva.
What's it? The Tootsie Roll set of a Tootsie Pop. Lead.
Oh, my God. In other science and not science news, do you remember, I think it was last week or the week before, we had the story of those guys that were trying to smuggle ants out of Africa in those little test tubes and stuff?
But it was like 2,000 test tubes or something. It's like, guys, cling, 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 cling. It's like bringing 10 40 ounces to the movie theater. Like, clinkety, clink, clink, clink.
With somebody on your shoulders in a trench coat.
Oh, man. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Those guys. No, I do remember.
Well, there's a story that 3 Chinese nationals went and visited Japan, and they were trying to do something similar. They were trying to smuggle hermit crabs out of Japan, which is just nuts. So these brilliant genius criminals gathered up all these hermit crabs into suitcases and took them down to the hotel they were staying at and said, "Can you watch our bags?" Basically, we got a little bit more sightseeing to do. And the front desk people got a little suspicious when they heard like these little claw and scratch marks inside the suitcase. Man. So when the cops showed up, it was like thousands of hermit crabs.
Yes. Oh my God. Squitchy, 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 squitchy. And I would have just said, "Oh, we're pranking. It's a prank."
I don't know what the value is, but man.
But it's not cool because you're introducing something to a non-typical environment, man. It's not nice.
Yeah, it was 353 pounds of hermit crabs. And in Japan, those hermit crabs are classified as a national natural monument, citing their cultural and scientific value, and they're actually a protected species by Japanese law, which they should be. But yeah, it's how dumb can you be?
I don't know, but they can ponder that in prison.
Yeah,
right. Now, I don't know what Japanese penal systems are like, but I bet they're pissed about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're still mad at China about something. Yeah. China's mad at them. So
if I was going to do time, though, I don't know if Japan wouldn't be so bad to do because they're very polite.
It beats me. I don't know what their penal system's like. I don't, and I'm good not knowing.
I don't need to find out. But I'm not going to go smuggle 350.
No, that's not even on my top million crimes.
I mean, what's the value of 350? If you get $1 a pound,
not enough. Right? Not enough for that, bro. Jeez. That's insane. But the ant guys, because it was, but 350 pounds is a lot of shit.
That's
actually.
A lot.
That's a lot. Somebody's going to be checking that the entire way.
Yes.
Because whether you're on a boat or a plane to get back to China, somebody's importing that stuff.
And I got to think
right?
China is pretty hardcore about
bringing in animals.
Shit in.
Yeah, dude.
Right? Anything.
Oh my God, yeah. And rightfully so, right? And I don't know if there's ever been cases of like eco terrorism like that, like bringing invasive species or something. You know what I mean? It just costs money.
Yeah.
Because then they get like what's the kuzu stuff down south, right? That super ivy or whatever.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Drop that somewhere.
Yeah.
It's no matter what, it's going to cost some resource to deal with, right? But yeah, so I get that's what Customs and Border guys are supposed to be doing.
Right.
That's a good job.
Yeah.
Right? It's like...
Yeah. Are you paying off the border guy to get 353 pounds of hermit crabs?
Yeah. But yeah, he gets $3. And
a handful of crab.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a delicacy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't eat crab.
Or just, because I think the ant guys... there are people who buy those because there's people who do that as a hobby and raise ant colonies.
Yeah.
There's a name for it and all sorts of stuff. But so those are valuable to
I mean, I can go, and probably a different species, obviously, but I can go to the pet store where they sell fish and probably buy a hermit crab.
I would think, there must be certain species, right?
Yeah.
How many species of hermit crabs are there? This seems a pretty specialized fucking behavior, really. Like, hey, I ain't got a shell, but I like that.
They're in special shells.
Yeah. Look at that Rainier can. It's a tall boy.
Oh, man. Oh, geez. Speaking of foreign craziness, the Yugo. Do you remember Yugos?
Yeah, I do.
Highly mocked car. I knew a guy that had one. And the thing, I mean, he would just use it as a commuter. It was cheap on gas, like 3 cylinders, and it was a stick shift. And he's like, I fill it up once a month.
Mid-'80s? When was that?
God, mid to late 80s, maybe.
But I feel like they were like a 3-cylinder.
Just a base car.
Very kind of Soviet.
Very Soviet. Yeah. Yes, that's a great way to describe it.
But we had, the Honda Accord?
Yeah.
No, not the Honda Accord. The Honda Civic. Remember the little boxy Civics in the 80s? And what was the Ford Escorts?
The Escorts, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like we weren't like...
Or the Gremlin or something like that.
57 Chevys all day, But you have a Yugo.
Pintos and Vegas. Yeah, so the Yugo is actually on the way back. Even though they got mocked the first time around, they're making a comeback, and they're basically going to be another basic automobile. They're not built to be the fastest, prettiest, or most tech-heavy. It's just a functional, practical, cheap car. They're going to build a gas version and a electric version of it, and looking to have it back in the next couple of years.
Any idea where that is being built?
The guy that is running the company is from Germany, so I don't know if he, because I think Yugo wasn't it Yugoslavia?
Yeah, but there's no Yugoslavia.
There's not a Yugoslavia anymore, so I don't know. Maybe just about the name. I want the name Yugo.
Yeah, but that
Yugo.
Seems like that seems like an odd nameplate to purchase, right? Because it wasn't well respected at the time. And I wonder if there are factories still somewhere doing something. But I guess I don't know because factories are expensive. Tooling for new vehicles is really expensive.
I wonder if they had a better reputation inside Europe, or at least like Central or Eastern Europe. Yeah. Maybe they had a better reputation as just a cheap, get around town car.
Yeah, because what was the one a couple weeks back? The Slate, right?
The Slate truck, yes.
Because I think, I don't know, because now that we're in a haves and have-nots world, right? It's like the inexpensive transportation.
I don't mind that at all.
No, I'm cool.
Yeah.
As long as they're safe, I'm cool.
Yeah. Safe vehicle that I don't have to do a ton of maintenance on. And if I do have to do maintenance, it's cheap,
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Yugo's folks coming back.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know anybody that had one. Did you ever ride in it?
I never rode in it, but I remember I was working at Pony Express, and he was one of the other drivers, and he'd just come bombing in his little, just like gerbils, just losing their minds in there. But
Yeah, had a Geo Metro.
Yeah, oh yes.
Yeah. Or I guess there's a
and
Suzuki.
That was kind of kind of the same
kind of super inexpensive, just a commuter car. You're not towing anything with it, right?
I had a K car.
Oh yeah,
a Plymouth Reliance.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the basic. I mean, it's a little bit bigger, but boxier. And I had
but it was practical.
Yeah,
right? And it saved that whole corporation.
Yes, they sold
really did.
tons of them. Yeah.
And they became fleet vehicles, right?
Yes.
That was because the feds agreed to buy some, right? Mm-hmm. Just like that's how you can spur an industry to do certain things, huh?
Right.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Wonder who else is trying to get in on that. My top baby names for 2024
Daniel
were the same baby names that they've been for the last 6 years. For boys, it's Liam.
Oh.
That's been 8 years in a row.
Wow.
That's been the top name for baby boys. And for baby girls, it's Olivia. That's been the top for the last 6 years.
That's neat.
We've got a little Olivia next door, and I've got an Olivia, which is just a variation of the same thing. So, yes.
Geez, that's neat. 8 years in a row?
8 years in a row for Liam, 6 years in a row for Olivia. Second place, a couple of the whitest names you could ever think of, Noah and Emma. And then, just as an aside, there was 3.61 million babies born in the U.S. in 2024, and that's up from 3.59 million the year before.
Jeez, all right.
So...
That's nice. I wonder what that trend means. And that's a lot of Liams there.
That's a lot of Liams.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know we averaged right around like 3.5.
Yeah.
That's something.
It's a lot of boys with a special set of skill.
Yeah. We all have a special. Oh, man. Sure like that guy. Yeah, no, he's doing Naked Gun.
Yeah.
So
I'm
good.
looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
Jeez. And somebody you don't want to think about too often, Steven Seagal, who I hadn't thought of for quite a while, made an appearance in public recently. It was over in Russia. Yeah. He was at the May Day parade, where Putin and Xi Jinping were hanging out together watching the parade.
The premier of China was in Russia
for the May Day parade.
Wow, that's interesting.
Sit next to each other. Steven Seagal was sitting next to ultra-nationalist biker gang or biker club called the Night Wars, which are probably
and they're right at a state parade and
shit?
Yeah, oh, man. Yeah. No, that's not the world I want to live into. But they're the Proud Boys, right?
Yeah, basically, of Russia.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trip, dude.
Yeah.
Thuggery's not better.
Yeah.
It's not. And Steven Seagal's a fucking... He's a never was, right? That guy... No, he's not a real athlete. He never was. It's like... even Chuck Norris fucking made fun of that guy. And he didn't do shit about it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like...
Yeah, Steven Seagal was known for what? Fast hands and
kind of that combative Aikido, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's like... that, and just for the swagger is what he's known for.
Yeah.
Swagger, right? It's like... Yeah, but is that enough? Why does that work on people?
I don't know.
Because it's not real. Right? He's all swagger and not substance.
It was
right?
a ponytail, I think.
I don't know. It's a trip, man. People fall for it. It's weird.
It is weird. Well, speaking of not swagger,
and shame on him for being
involved.
And he has for some time. For some time, he's been.
He's been.
He's allowed to be around Putin, right?
Yeah.
And he's welcomed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like shame on you, dude.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Then don't be an American.
Cozying up.
Don't be an American. See ya.
Yeah. Speaking of swagger, rest in peace. Joe Don Baker passed away.
No way.
Yes, just I think yesterday or the day before.
He's walking tall,
89, the first walking tall.
Yeah.
He was also CIA agent Jack Wade in 2 or 3 of the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies, but he's been in a ton of stuff.
And just a big, imposing guy.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I thought he was an actor, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But, 89 years old, had a great career.
Geez, that's a good run.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, rest in peace, Joe Don Baker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And a cool name, Joe Don Baker.
Yeah. Yeah, and hitting dudes with lumber.
With lumber.
Dunk.
Yeah. Before The Rock.
I forgot about that. All right.
He was also in, I'm trying to think of the movie. It's not coming. Oh, well. He's been in a ton of stuff. Look him up. IMDb.com, folks. Mike, talking a little Gen X history, dude. We've had quite a run. So what we talked about earlier, Gen X is considered born in 1965 up until like 1980. So it's that.
All right. Sure.
15-year span is where we consider. So. Talking about the Yugo, ladies and gentlemen, represent.
I can.
So that would make Gen X folks, I think, 44 to 69 years of age.
Ouch.
So yeah, we're just about, Gen X is pushing into the 70s. Is that right?
No, 59. Because Gen X is 65, you say?
59.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yes, 44 to 59.
I was feeling faint.
As well you should. So a few things, we'll talk more about the stuff that we remember, because that's going to be interesting to me, about what you remember historically. There's been a lot of stuff that happened in our Gen X lifetime, in that generation's lifetime, but before Mike and I were even born, or before we have a memory of, I don't remember that, but kind of spurring us off. I know it was a couple years before, but I think America was probably still reeling from this, but the JFK assassination in 1963, which just threw the country into just this innocence gone.
A level of despair. There was like a national despair.
National despair is a good way to say it. And it ushered in sort of Johnson's Great Society administration in 1965 is when he sort of proposed that. And that came along with like the Voting Rights Act. And,
Civil Rights Act.
And
the desegregation of schools. That's all within our lifetimes. Well, mostly. I guess you're right. Within Gen X, yes, you're right. Thank you. And space race, thank you.
Yes.
Like we were just talking about, but without... and the rise of like the middle class rebellion as far as the youth go, and anti-war protesting and just counterculture stuff, right? That wasn't really as but previously, right? That was,
you wouldn't have thought about anybody, young person stepping up and calling out, I mean, you had the beatniks and stuff, but it wasn't such a movement.
No, and even then, that's just right on the leading edge of that, right? That might have been one of the seeds, but it's like, it was really difficult up to that point. Right? Because there was not transparency.
Yes, absolutely not. Yeah. And then we jump right into 1968, which brought about the assassinations of RFK and MLK, which, and then there was stuff like, I think it was in 1965 was like the Watts riots.
Oh, sure.
And then there was the big ones in Detroit and stuff happened all around that time.
And when did Baltimore get firebombed by Baltimore? And just some stuff, that kind of reactionary behavior from state power, right? And we still had Hoover was still in charge. The CIA was doing shenanigans worldwide. That was all the stuff in Latin America. It's like, no, times were way better under Biden than that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, man, I don't know. And we do have a lot of a burden to carry as a nation. Yes, I recognize this. But, man, we sure did a lot since then, right? A lot of really good things. There's more, right? We came up with we fed most of the world in Generation X, right?
Yeah.
All the wheat, that is rice, all those were invented pretty much in the U.S., right? All those different strains and such that get way more yields, et cetera. That came from somewhere. I'm pretty fucking sure it's the U.S., right? Inoculations, getting it in a worldwide network, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All that's the U.S. too, right?
Yeah.
So...
definitely good stuff. 1969 brought about the moon landing.
Yes.
Which we all know is faked.
Oh, yeah, but so well faked.
Faked. Well, you got to bring in the best director.
It was Kubrick, right? And because he's such a stickler for authenticity, he demanded that the fake moon landing be filmed on the moon.
On the moon, yes. Obviously, before you were born 70?
1970.
Yeah, I'm 71.
Stormy nights.
It really was. Yeah, so right before we were born. So obviously we wouldn't remember it, but
no, but I think that kind of re-energized America, and we were in the middle of the Cold War too. Remember where we were?
Yeah.
That space race was a byproduct of the missile race, the nuclear, intercontinental ballistic nuclear missile race with the megaton warheads, right? Always worrying us, right? And we kept thinking about nonstop. That's also where our money was going.
Yeah.
Those projects and missiles, nukes are expensive, bro.
Yeah.
They really are. They're not cost effective, as the kids say.
And sort of that anti-communist, pouring money into countries to keep them from and giving money to shitheads. Fascist shitheads to keep communism at bay.
Yes, because we pick sides, right? The anti-expansionists, right? Because let's not pretend that the Soviet bloc wasn't expanding and influencing elsewhere, right? Because we often get blamed for being the colonist setter, which both things can be true, right? But I do also believe that they're worse. Yeah. The Soviet system was worse.
Way worse.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not excusing the
I'd rather
horror,
have the
right,
perception of freedom than...
But it was only for some of us, right? And it's like, at least until the civil rights legislation, it was pretty much legal to discriminate, redline, prevent upward mobility. Prevent upward mobility.
Yes.
It's bonkers.
For a fellow American citizen.
It's bonkers.
Nuts.
It's bonkers. And also, remember, they would also steal property, right? The state power can always take your property, et cetera. So it's all of those things that make our system better, right? Private property, liberty, the ability to work towards a better tomorrow. If state power is specifically working against you to accomplish those, that's not really living up to the dream, right?
I'm with you. Totally with you.
But we did. It took, because Jim Crow went on for a long time, man. But at least that is saying it out loud that these things are now illegal, right? Because they might have always been immoral to some degree, but now they are at least, according to all of us, right, no longer within the law.
Right.
And I do think that's a big step.
With you completely. Within your lifetime, Kent State. The four students that were shot and killed by National Guard during a protest. Again, just
a nonviolent protest.
Nonviolent protest. Always one of my favorite singers, songwriters, performers, Chrissy Hine, was actually there taking classes. I think she knew somebody or was taking a class with one of the folks that got killed. Man. She's had a fascinating life, though, because she's there and she's doing that, and then she ends up going to England, and she's part of the early London punk rock scene.
And writing about it the whole time.
And writing about it the whole time, and tried to get convince either Sid Vicious or Johnny Rotten to marry her so she can stay in the country. Like, that's my choice.
Yeah, you might have dodged a bullet, kid.
Anyway, just fascinating. But so
but I'm available. I mean, you could emigrate to rent it. But I think one of the Devo guys was on site. I can't remember now. Not Mother's Bow, but the other guy.
At the same time, because they're Ohio, right?
It's
kids. I don't know.
But it's not cool for state power to murder people.
No.
Right? It's like
for speaking their mind. For constitutionally protected activity.
I mean, we just need to continually raise the bar for obviously state violence of any kind and or just incarceration in general, right? The bar should be up and up and up and up and up, right?
It absolutely needs to be. Forever. 1973, I was 2, you were 3, but Roe v. Wade, man, 1973 in our lifetime was finally decided, federally protected. rights
after
for women.
A massive amount of study.
Yes.
Massive amount of experts after expert. Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't based on a gut feeling by anybody.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I think that has been consistently left out of the argument.
And
it
that
wasn't
was
just
a
decided,
Supreme Court that was actually serious about doing their job and serious about upholding the principles of the Constitution and the law.
Yeah. And just really having heaviness in their decision.
Yes.
Right? A lot of which I certainly don't agree with, but I have to be honest and say they weren't just the dippity-doos of today, dude. It's like, it's insane. Just the light, almost flippant attitude that people in government have today. It's so, the lack of gravitas is just puzzling to me. For such a role. It's weird.
And the thing I find fascinating about that argument is that, or about the opposition to it, is the argument that, keep out of my business. Keep your hands off my property, keep your hands off my stuff. Oh, but when it comes to
your body, my bodily autonomy is less protected than property. What?
Less protected than a corporation's property.
And I have less decision-making ability over it, less agency over my own being. That is bonkers, bro.
Absolutely.
That is bonkers. The Bible is not involved.
And
legislation, it should not be. And obviously, I realize that it is. But that's not, Nope. Nobody knows. And nor is it in there.
Well, and I don't see anybody banning shellfish from being sold.
Or how about usury?
Or
right? Interest.
Yes.
You can't charge interest.
Yes.
Let's bring that up. Right? Let's say that we're make a law that says we're going to ban interest based on biblical precepts. Would somebody then say you can't use biblical precepts to make legislation? Right? It's like, and I don't know. It doesn't matter if there is or is not a religious argument for or against such a thing. It just doesn't belong in the argument. It's not in the argument. I don't know, dude.
Take it to your own home, to your own
Hallelujah,
church.
You don't. And that's because you have the freedom to do so. We don't tell you what your religion can be, right? Kind of to the point of, I don't think it's cool either. Somebody's cult is another person's,
And that was a precedent. It was 1973 to 2024. And just got tossed out the window.
It pushed back down to the states. That's all that was. Which to the coward's way out, too. Cowards.
Absolutely.
Cowards.
Mike, 1973 as well, the Watergate scandal kicked off, where a bunch of guys that worked for Nixon's campaign were caught breaking into the DNC headquarters to steal information. And it wasn't until 1974 that Nixon finally resigns because he got caught up in the cover-up, not in the crime itself, but in the cover-up, which I'm sure he was involved.
Oh, sure. And even if he had plausible deniability, the buck should stop with him anyway, right? And it was his guys that did it that enabled him to win. So of course he should step in. Of course. And I don't know. I mean, he was also kind of a paranoid, person. I don't know. We've had worse presidents,
which is why
we've had worse presidents.
We have worse presidents.
Yes. Bonkers. Because I still, with warts and all, I think he was still a thoughtful person. I can't think of too many things I agree with Richard Nixon on, but I don't think that he was a shallow person, right?
He created the EPA, right?
I don't know how
effective it was, but
I don't know, better than nothing. That's how Cayuga River burst or whatever, or whichever river it was. I don't know. I don't know. And he went to China.
He
made normalized relations with the communists.
True.
I don't know, dude.
True.
But he still should have quit his job. No doubt about it. And I would say the reason, I guess Igor and Liddy went back behind bars for a little bit, but for the most part, nobody really paid the price for that.
No.
Not really, besides public shaming, kind of. But then Igor and Liddy got a right-wing talk show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like he's somehow a good guy and not a thief.
Showed up on shows like Miami Vice and stuff like that.
He's a thief.
Yeah.
Not a patriot.
No.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
But that led us directly to Iran-Contra,
which
led us directly to all the other shenanigans, because nobody's getting busted for it.
Nobody gets busted.
You know what I mean? And they're always like, well, we got to penalize, but you steal pizza 3 times, you're behind bars for life.
Forever.
Right?
Because you want to defeat your family.
Huge state crimes that not only are illegal, but they diminish the faith in that state institution. Nope, I'm going to fail upwards time and time again, right? No punishment.
Right.
It's a TV, right? I get on TV now. Ollie North made a fortune.
Write books.
Yeah, dude. Let alone a lot of them just stay in power, right? It's like, or just change. Yeah, it's bonkers.
Or they go away for a few years and then they do the books and the stuff, and then they work their way back into it.
Into the socialism cash cow, right? They want socialism for them because they love our money lining their pockets, right? They just want it for us, the people actually paying into it.
Right.
So dumb. But that's within the mechanisms to fix. That just means more transparency and more accountability. That's the fix to that, right? That's not an impossible thing to fix within a republic. It's not.
With him resigning, do you have any mental memory? Do you have any memory of anything?
I remember it being a thing, and I feel like I saw it on TV where he like turns around and waves or something, but I could have seen it any time between now and then.
Yeah.
But at the time, I don't know. I don't know if I do.
I feel like I remember people talk, like parents at parties and stuff talking about it. But again, that could have been, like you say, 5 years after the fact.
We're still talking about it, right? So it sure could have been. I don't know. And we weren't a big TV family necessarily, right? So it's not like we were around watching the nightly news or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And discussing it afterwards. We're going to have a pop quiz.
Yeah. Pop quiz, hot shot. How many fingers is Nixon holding up? You're like,
well, geez, the Vietnam War started before Gen X kind of came into being. It got escalated during our lifetime, because that would have been 1966, I think, when they started
massive bombing campaign,
and shipping a ton more. Before that, it was just like Green Berets and advisors and stuff.
A
lot of kids going over there. But it ended during 1975. Is when we pulled out of Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City now, but the images of the helicopters lifting people from the embassy and stuff like that, and the refugees aboard the aircraft carriers and stuff trying to get back to,
and a bunch more just on tiny little craft, dude, being preyed upon every step of the way. Oh man, that was real.
I don't remember. I've seen the iconic images,
right? They couldn't go back.
They couldn't go back
because they picked a side.
Yes.
Just like the Afghans that we guaranteed a way in and rescinded it and gave it to the dudes from South Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the people who helped us. Right? And I feel like we did that to the, not the Karen tribe. Who are the guys? There's another specific tribe in Vietnam that got left behind.
The Montagnards.
Yeah, man. What the fuck? A deal is a deal.
Help us do this, and we'll take care of you.
Yeah, because if you don't, they're going to be murdered. Right? It's like, and a deal is a deal.
Right.
If you don't want to honor the deal, don't make the deal.
Right.
Oh, man.
One of my favorite people, and he was sort of, he wasn't elderly, but he was getting up there in years, so I'd be surprised if I haven't talked to him in 30 years, but I used to work with this guy that was a major in the South Vietnamese army. And of course, because he fought for the South with the Americans, he had to flee. So he gets to America and he takes as many jobs as he can find his whole life, working his butt off. Most of his extra money went to sponsoring folks, family members, to get out of Vietnam, come to the United States, right? And I don't know if they were harmed or persecuted or whatever because they were related to him, and he was kind of an upper echelon dude in the Army, so I don't know how well known he was. I don't know anything about that, but I remember one day him coming into work, biggest grin on his face. Didn't talk, he didn't speak a lot of English, very heavily accented, but he's so happy. And I'm like, Major. And he would always come in and salute. And I'm like, no, let me salute you. You're the Major, right? Great conversations with the guy, but came in and he was just, tears in his eyes. And he's like, I did it. I finally did it. And I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, I finally have enough money. I brought my last relative, and I don't remember if it was an aunt or a cousin or whatever, finally was able to get the last person out. Now I can breathe easy because I've got all my family.
What a guy.
And that always just, right here, this guy had a mission his whole life to protect his family. Bring him here so he could take care of him. It was just a dynamite story, dynamite human being, just the nicest guy. But I wish I'd stayed in touch with him. But
that's really neat. Good job, whoever that guy is. Good boy.
So I remember all the iconic images of Vietnam. I remember all the ending stuff. I've talked to guys that said they were there as sort of the final cadre of American soldiers during the pullout and all that stuff, kind of the last boots on the ground. I bailed out, but I don't remember the specific. I would have been 4, I guess, at that point.
Sure.
So,
but it's been part of the larger society my whole life, right? So and we've been sort of kind of coming to terms with as much of it, as we could.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Geez, do you remember the Bicentennial festivities, 1976?
Yeah, that I do remember.
I kind of
Spirit of 76 stuff
and memories of that too.
Yeah. And I think the River Walk opened then.
Oh.
Yeah, because I feel like I came down for that or something.
Okay. That would have been the whole
but I
summer.
certainly remember 76 and just like, American flag stuff everywhere. And
the quarter.
Bicentennial quarters.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I used to collect those because I thought they were oh my God, these are going to be worth I got $10 for the quarters under my bed.
Man, that's how they get you in a coin collector, I swear to God.
I remember going down to Seattle Center and participating in a race, and I just sort of have these vague memories of doing this race with all these other kids, and I won. And then years later, I'm going through family photo album, and there's a picture of me and I think my sister, but with Gene Enerson.
That's neat.
From King 5, long time anchor.
Is it King 5?
Really young looking at that point, but getting a picture with her. And I don't know if she was like a reporter on the scene or something just there.
Before she was an anchor or something?
Something like that.
And I think the King 5 headquarters are right there, right?
I think so,
Or were at one time.
Or were at that point. Yeah, they... I remember sort of being over on Dexter area, but regardless, right close to Seattle Center. So I kind of have this vague memory of that afternoon and being there with all those kids around in the sun and on the Seattle Center grounds and stuff like that.
Cool.
So, So I don't know. That might be one of the early ones we remember. Mike, 1979, 3 Mile Island.
Oh, sure.
Do you remember anything on that?
I remember the news after the fact, I don't know if I remember the day of or anything, but...
just kind of have a vague memory.
Oh, yeah, because I remember, our people panicked, right? It was like...
Yeah, because that's in...
Pennsylvania, right? Or
East Pennsylvania, right?
I want to say Pennsylvania.
Was it Pennsylvania? Sounds right. New York, maybe?
I don't know. Jeez, I'm ashamed. I don't know that.
But that was a nuclear disaster, right?
Yeah. Just kind of melted down or whatever, right? And did release some radiation. It wasn't as bad as Chernobyl.
No.
And the amount of electricity we get as a nation from nuclear is a lot, actually.
Oh, geez, I should have had Chernobyl on here because I do remember.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah.
And then also in 79, the Iran Contra.
Yeah, no, that I do remember.
Or not Iran Contra, but the Iran hostage.
Hostages, Yeah, and the Ayatollah just totally, he fit the part.
Yeah, I sort of remember seeing on the TV the images of that guy and just standing there and all the protesters,
the Shah having a flea,
and all that.
One of the guys, I stayed with 3 dudes when I was in Delhi, in one shitty little flat with one drop toilet. It was awful. Anyway, he had to flee because his dad was a high-ranking military officer in Iran.
Oh, really?
And so when the Shah was deposed, he had to snatch everybody and go. A bunch of them got killed, actually, So same kind of thing, like you were describing. It's like, the losing side had to run, right? I don't know. I mean, the Shah wasn't a good person.
No.
Right? Because the way the borders were set up after the World Wars, right? It's like, it just kind of led into, and so did the attitudes of the 2 major superpowers, is that they wanted these devils that they could control, right, in charge of these arenas, right?
Right, yeah.
But the Ayatollah's awful.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, geez.
Yeah.
And I didn't...
and it was recounted every day on the TV.
Yeah.
Like day such and such, the hostage crisis and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And President Carter looked just helpless.
Yeah.
Right? There was nothing we could do about it. He seemed weak. A bunch of his cabinet had already fucking disappeared. It's like,
and he had that rescue mission that went awry.
Towards the end,
where the helicopters dropped.
I don't remember who
Delta
they were.
Force.
Delta Force, yes.
And they crashed in the desert, sandstorms, just looked inept. Right?
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah. And just made us look bad on the world stage, right? Bummer. Yeah, that was awful. But then we also came to hear and understand that there was a deal made between Americans. Between an American political movement, right, that they knew wasn't very popular, right? That whole weird fucking Reaganomics thing is not popular. So they had to lie and cheat to get it into play.
Yeah. Was that the neocon movement then at that point?
I guess. It started with the Reaganites, but then the neocon thing kind of spurred out of that. Oh, man.
And at the same time, there was the gas crisis here.
Started in 73, I think.
Was it 73?
All that kind of led to, right, because then the economic conditions were right for Carter just to take a beating. Yeah. Right?
And I don't remember, because we didn't, I was a city guy, and, my life was like a 1 square mile, right, or 2 square mile block, right?
Sure.
We went to Northgate occasionally, but that would have been as far north, and South Center maybe, right? Sure. But it's just kind of contained in there. Dad worked up on Broadway, which was only a mile away from the house. I do remember in the 70s him switching to riding his Schwinn 10-speed bike to work quite a bit. And I think that might have had some, I want to say it was, because gas prices, it wasn't worth driving the car, but also maybe he was trying to be a healthy guy.
Oh, yeah, and 10-speeds were cool as fuck when they came out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he would get up a little earlier and ride his bike up to Broadway, which, great coming home, not as great going to, because it's a lot more hills going up.
It's steep, bro. Geez, good on him.
Yeah, he's the United Graphics was where he worked, and it's where the QFC on Broadway is now, so just down from Madison, just a little north. Right there was his office. So.
Totally cool. I bet it was popping back in the day. And because not only was gas really expensive, but I mean there were shortages.
Yes.
Right?
So it's you couldn't get it.
Yeah. And it really
choose your battles.
Yeah, and it suddenly goes from being 10% of your monthly outflow to being 30%.
Right.
Right? All of a sudden you're like, fuck, that's a lot.
It's like eggs.
Yeah. It is.
Have eggs come down? I haven't looked at the price of eggs for a little while.
It's been a while. I'm still working on the same Costco mega pack that I got
months ago. I mean, they don't go bad very fast.
No, it takes a minute. But still, I mean,
I do like a good omelet.
No, I don't think they have. And I saw diesel somewhere for over $5. And I understand that Washington State has expensive fuel, right? But that's the trigger. I'm telling you. Once diesel is over $5 in enough places to where You have to buy it as a long-distance trucker and or ships and or, I'm telling you, dude, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But then people will get irritated.
Yeah.
Because then it won't matter if we made a deal with China or not, which we kind of did. No, we didn't do that in the headlines. We kind of rescinded our tariffs, right? So it wasn't about protecting and growing our industries after all.
It wasn't at all.
Who knew?
It wasn't at all.
Who knew? That was just a really poorly executed ruse. Didn't see that coming. Oh, man. Anyway.
Didn't see that coming from a mile away.
Yeah, but the gas crunch.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nuts.
This one I do really remember, but the Mount St. Helens eruption.
For sure.
Yeah. My best friend growing up lived a couple doors down. His uncle was, maybe still is, a farmer down south, I think in northern Oregon.
All right.
And the worry was that the wind was going to blow and
go that way,
hit his farm. And I know we talked a lot about that at the time. Sometime later, Dad was on a road trip somewhere, and he got a mayonnaise jar full of ash that we had at the house for a long
huge
time.
Bucket. Yeah, it might still be at my dad's somewhere. Yeah, because it's super fine.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing material.
It really is,
but it was nuts.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had plenty of warning, right? Which I'm thankful for. But the footage of it is because the side, like a third of the mountain, just goes away. It's incredible.
There's been a bunch of memes lately that I've seen where it's like you had one job, blow upward, right? Not below the side of the mountain.
Yeah. So what in the fuck is so tough on this side that the force was moved this way?
It's like an alien spacecraft.
That's the spaceship with the transformers on it.
But I do remember the worry in Seattle, in our area, that the wind was going to blow all that over, and just cake us in volcanic ash.
It pretty much went east of the mountains, right? Yeah, we looked. I guess those guys are like, what do you mean? Because it was just a tremendous amount of material.
Yes.
And I guess, maybe it was superheated enough to get high enough to have those higher trade winds, but those higher atmospheric winds scooted, right?
I do remember worrying about that dude that lived on the mountain with the cats.
Harry Truman.
That's what his name is.
Other Harry Truman.
Yeah,
with 17 cats or something. No, we made drawings of the mountain, and I put him
on there with his cats.
With his cat.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck it.
Where am I going?
Yeah. Because he was, in his 70s or 80s?
I think something. Not that old. Yeah. And, what about the cats?
Yeah, I felt bad for the cats.
Feel bad for the cats, but he's not moving 17 cats either, right? So is he going to leave them behind? That'd be awful.
Yeah. Did he, like a little house up there, a cabin or something?
I don't remember now, no, I understand his point of view.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you been up to the park where you can kind of see
I've never been to Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
Which there's the ape caves. There's all sorts of cool shit there, man.
There's all kinds of cool stuff down there.
But I never have.
I haven't really done much either. Yeah.
I've only been to Rainier a couple times, and it's just right over there. You can fucking see it from here.
You can walk there, right?
Yeah. Neat though, and I really am glad that I lived through that because it's incredible. Incredible,
wild to think about. Yeah, geez. Yeah, that was 1980, right? Yeah,
May 18th, 1980.
Yes.
Yeah. That was bonkers. And then people, I remember going to, my mom was a crafter, she's a weaver, and we hung out with potters, and so it was really hip for the potters to put Mount St. Helens volcanic ash in their ashtrays or whatever the fuck they're making for you,
So that's funny because I think we had a little like one single flower vase, just a little thing that somebody made out of.
That's neat. Yeah. Because it was a super fine powder, and where it came down. Yeah,
crazy. We got totally spared. Man, oh man. 1981, Mike. Somebody was trying to impress the lovely Jodie Foster and decided to take a shot at Reagan. Didn't take him out.
Because he thought he was like Travis Bickle or something. Is that what?
I think so.
That he kind of imagined himself as.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez.
man, or something.
Yeah.
Hey, has anybody ever done like an in-depth interview with that guy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he ever get released?
No.
They were talking
we did a
about-
show on that, or
Yeah.
it made headlines.
Who was the guy that shot and killed?
Mark David Chapman. Maybe that was it. Yeah.
Wonder if he.
Because that was fuck yeah, what was the guy? John Hinckley Jr.
Because that would have been like 1982.
I think that was 81 or 82. I remember when that happened, when Reagan got shot. Oh yeah, because we were in school,
Yes.
and we got brought into the
There's
library.
a lot
or
of
something.
stuff like that
Yeah.
where it's like, no.
And James Brady.
Yeah.
Got the head injury out of it.
And that would have been 20 years after JFK.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just thinking about...
and didn't Kristi Noem get her purse stolen and all that shit? Was that Kristi Noem? It's like, what the fuck is... I mean, Secret
What are we
Service,
doing?
unless they're stopping 99.99999% of shit that we never hear about because they were so good at their jobs, and so once in a while a slip happens, we do hear about it, but it's like, I don't know, dude. If the Trump assassination attempt was real, I don't know, then that's a fuck up, right? And Kristi Noem's purse, that's a fuck up, right? Come on, people. It's like...
Yeah, if it was real.
Security is a real job.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's an honorable
I don't care
job.
if she's at a... because you're talking a secretary, you're talking a person in line, sort of high up in line, I would think.
For succession or
For
whatever?
succession.
To some point, but
To
either
some
way, just
point.
a hugely impactful position.
I mean, she's
right?
within the top maybe
dude.
10.
Yeah. Ugh.
But yes, a huge position with a lot of controversy.
Sure. And, but if somebody could have just went... Right, it's like nobody should have got that close to her. Not a chance.
No.
Not close enough to reach your foot over and grab her stuff.
Slide her purse.
Unbelievable.
And nobody paying attention enough to see somebody
Or
doing
what if he
this.
just dropped some poison in her bag? So the next time she reaches in, she gets poisoned.
Some raisin or something.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not even diabolical.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, and what adversaries of ours like to poison people?
Yeah. I mean, you could take
Right?
a cue
It's like,
from the Russians.
oh, it's a thing, dude.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's their flavor.
Yeah, it's like mercury or some crazy shit
I
that
don't
they
know.
use.
Some turns people purple or
Yeah,
whatever.
some-
What a fuck. Or some
And if that doesn't work,
radiological
we just
thing.
throw 'em out the window.
They also do radiological poisons too, which I always, don't get me started. Yeah, people, they don't visit my brain. You don't want to live in there.
Oh my God! So Reagan in 1981, and then jumping all the way to 1986. But I guess before that, what was Chernobyl? Was that 85?
84, 85, something. Yeah, that sounds
so
right.
we should probably talk about that because I do remember
That was huge.
reading like Newsweek and trying to figure out where Ukraine is as a I don't know, fucking 8th grader, 7th grader. Because I always read my parents' Newsweek that they got weekly. And sort of looking at the map showing how much radiation is going to come.
Where the bloom, to whatever,
What are we expecting? Because at that point, we were thinking, fucking Wolverines, right? Red Dawn and shit. We were thinking, because we're all scared we had fallout shelters. Do we need to go to a fallout shelter? Do we need to take special pills? Yes.
Oh, man. Well, right. And I mean, all of those plants have that potential.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like that's totally far-fetched. Fuck. Yeah, that was awful.
Just nuts.
And evidently, and I'm not an expert on it, but from what I do know, it was just almost an impossible cavalcade of human error.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen the miniseries?
No, I guess it's excellent. Okay,
it is really good.
But does that seem to follow that same?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
just
had
like how
a
can
planned test, and then somebody screwed up, and then somebody wasn't on site, and it just I can't remember all the details, but it was just like, well, this guy didn't do that, so this guy didn't do that, and they forgot to do this, and we were going to run a test. Is it a test? Should we shut it down?
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then all those guys, all the firefighters and all the military guys that were like, hey, just drink a bunch of vodka, it'll protect you from and rushed in to try to,
That's fucking baller, dude.
Yes.
You're a fucking badass. You're like, well, I'm gonna put this fire out. But first, I'm going to drink a bunch of vodka
because that'll help me.
it kills germs.
Yeah.
That's not
There's
germ,
a scene where some dude like rushes in, firefighter. I don't know if he's a military firefighter, whatever it is. He rushes in and he sees this strange rock and he picks it up.
No, he does
and
not.
He looks at it, he drops it, and he goes back to his job. And then within 24 hours, like his fucking hand is just.
Oh, it's like getting microwaved, dude. Oh no, it's awful. It's awful. I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
It's brutal. The cover up, the trying to be quiet about what happened to the rest of the world. Sure. Just everything. Yeah, just crazy. It's a good dive. If you've got HBO Max or whatever, it's definitely worth a watch. One of the better series.
Yeah. McMurray Washington really recommend it too. Okay. Yeah, geez. Wow.
Yeah.
One of my favorite all-time graphic novels, though, is the Havoc Wolverine Meltdown, where they have a different. If the Chernobyl incident happened in the world of X-Men, so it's got a cool backstory to it. It's still a cavalcade of human error, but not only was it capitalized on by a bad guy, but it was kind of orchestrated by a bad guy. It's really kind of neat. And then it involves the X-Men and Wolverine.
Wow.
He gets chopping a bunch of people up. It's cool.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. Bummer. And I guess, what year
when did
was
that series come out?
I'd say 87, 88. And that's John J. Muth. It's a really good book. I'd highly recommend.
Nice.
Because the Japanese one was 2000.
That wasn't even that long ago. It doesn't seem like.
No, but I think it's after Gen X, right? So we didn't have three, because that's two major ones: 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl in one generation.
Right.
But that third one, the major Japanese one, wasn't.
Yeah. Good grief.
I don't know of any other off the top of my head Gen X nuclear power boo-boos. Probably a submarine here or there between the Soviets or ourselves, I would think.
Maybe that we haven't even heard about.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
But for military stuff, they're not telling you out loud.
Right, yeah.
The Japanese one was awful, though, with the tsunami. Oh, that was awful. Fukushima, awful.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was nuts. That whole thing was the whole thing was bad. But then they're like, who could have predicted that Japan could be the victim of a tsunami? It's like, let's have our diesel generators like below grade.
Right.
There's something weird. We were like,
yes.
An engineer really didn't see that? It's a problem? Really?
Right.
It's like,
it doesn't work underwater? Diesel engines.
Diesel generators, bro. It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oops.
And we talked about the pigs in the wild boars in Ukraine, in that whole area, because they're digging down.
They come cooked. It's like you don't have to cook
But they may not even be getting the radiation from Chernobyl. It might actually be because it used to be
it's being remediated into the soil.
Because those heavy isotopes are dropping down deeper. And so those
as they
pigs root through.
And or as plant roots grab stuff, they bring it up to the surface, and then it's
stuff like that.
Sure. But because that's the natural cycle of things until so much time passes that goes into ocean and then sinks, right? Because it desperately wants to get to the center of the planet, right? It's just a fine powder at that point, right? But it's too heavy to be around here. It doesn't want to be around here. Let it go. Leave it there. In fact, got a great idea. Uranium wants to be at the center. Leave it.
Until it gets down there and wakes up King Kong.
Oh, man.
1986, and we've talked about this over the last couple of years on the show, but the shuttle Challenger.
Oh, sure.
We all remember that being in school. And
that was a huge deal. Because we had won the space race.
We won. You know what I mean? We were the space dominant country, because I don't think the Soviets were doing anything at that point. They were going bankrupt.
They were totally, by that point, they were just about done.
They didn't have the money to do it. And this one was a contest, because I remember leading up to it, the teachers, all the people vying to be a passenger on that shuttle. And I can't remember her name.
Is it Sally Ride?
No, she was an actual astronaut.
Oh, yeah.
Terry
McAuliffe.
Oh,
yeah.
One out. It was like a middle school or an elementary school science teacher or something that got to go on there, and then just another cavalcade error. It was like an O-ring or something.
Yeah, that was the one with the O-ring. Yeah. And the first launch was like 81 or 2, right, for the space shuttle?
Yeah.
Because I remember when they were first trying it out, so right around there, they transported it on the back of a 747, because that's how big a 747 is. Right. So they just trucked it over, and then they had done a couple of like atmospheric tests with it by dropping it off of something, right? I don't know if that was a larger military craft, but just to make sure that it could glide as well as they needed to, right? The actual just atmospheric flight tests. But I'd say 81 or 82 so that's 3 to 4 years into the
thing,
platform.
They had the 2, right? They had the Challenger and they had Columbia,
maybe. Yeah. God, it wasn't really that long ago though.
Yeah.
Because 85 is now 40 years ago. Oh man.
Oh, we're getting old.
I remember that distinctively though.
Yeah. Oh, just such
nobody wants to see astronauts suffer, dude.
No.
Everybody loves astronauts.
Looked up to them and thought they're national heroes.
It's brave, it's bold, it's into the unknown.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're typically like absolutely the most overqualified humans walking, right? There's like 7 engineering degrees.
Right.
It's like, oh my God.
Test pilot, the whole.
Just super.
Oh,
man. Yeah, so when was the wall?
The Berlin Wall?
Oh, is that coming up?
That's coming up. Right before that, though, you talked about this a little bit. Ollie North and the Iran Contra.
Yeah, scumbags.
1986.
Liars, traitors, thieves, life takers. And they should have been prosecuted, which would have saved us a lot of trouble down the line, dude.
Yeah.
And just and overall, I might be a fool, but I think Ronald Reagan himself was kept out of it. I really think they are evildoers. And he was kind of a willing participant in a lot of things, but a lot of things he would not have been.
That was later in his presidency, too.
And they were a black op. So it's like, if they wanted to include him, he would have been included. But other than that, they were off the books, right? So that was kind of the whole point of like moving drugs and guns to the United States to make money to buy illegal weapons to send to the Iranians.
Or to the Contras.
Oh, yeah, with the Contras, too, but...
were they sending weapons to the Iranians?
Yes!
I thought they were just sending them to the Contras.
No, the Contras was, money and weapons. But the Iranians got promised a bunch of shit, too, man.
Jesus
Christ.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember watching the hearing. I remember Ollie North up there.
Yeah, just acting like he's a patriot, dude.
Yes, with all of his
disgusting
little medals and his Marine outfit.
It's disgusting. That is not patriotism. That is a perversion.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful. How dare he? And he just failed upwards the whole time.
Yes, the whole time.
Yeah, and he was just kind of a dumb person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to be a dick, but he was a dumb person who was proud in his law-breaking and traitorism, right?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Because if your idea is so good, get it through the channels.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Iran Contra, dude. Yeah, I mean, and the argument's there that's what also brought about the crack epidemic, right? The handgun epidemic, specifically in those markets where these drugs and guns were brought, right? Oh, no, and a bunch of those guys. One of them, claimed that he was in on not Bill Hurt, God, what was his name, man?
Was it one of the gang leaders? Or?
No, it was one of the flyers for the CIA, one of the CIA operatives who was moving drugs and you know what I mean?
Who was played by Tom Cruise in a movie?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Was he?
That's good. I don't know.
There was a...
It's not... Bill... Geez, I forgot now. I used to have all these guys memorized because they were just not good people, man.
Not good people at all.
And the promise of America can be ours. All of the big ours. It can be, right? Because, yes, God... we just got to get away from those liars. The lying cannot be. We just got to quit tolerating lying, right? Leave lying for the motion pictures and fiction, right? Because that's a beautiful kind of fibbing, right? Because then we're entertained. It expands the consciousness because it shows us something that isn't real.
Right.
But to have liars making the rules for the rest of us is just dumb.
Yeah.
We should not allow that anymore.
Never. I don't know how we get away from it, though.
Cats.
But you were mentioning Berlin Wall, 1989.
Huge. Well, and I guess I was way into adulthood at that point. But
we definitely remember that. I remember the Hasselhoff on the wall.
I don't remember.
He was big in Germany.
Oh yeah, and he actually showed up for the. Oh, that's great.
But I remember the images of people just sledgehammering or tooling, just busting that wall down.
Oh yeah, and then just the fall of the Soviet Empire, right? It's like the Crimson Revolution, and it's like, oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think we have a piece of the Berlin Wall.
Nice.
One of those souvenir things that you order. Somebody went there and grabbed it. It's probably somebody's.
Concrete from Uncle Milty's fucking broken down shed, but that's cool. I think it's neat. Because I don't know, man. Yeah. I'm glad that happened. I really am.
No, absolutely.
And they ain't wanted hockey since, right? The Soviets had a good hockey team back then, but they ain't done dick since. They ain't done a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Fucking Russians.
Yeah, and that ushered in, I remember Gorbachev quite clearly, the birthmark on the head. And
who was a statesman, though. And a bunch of his guys wanted him dead.
Yes.
They're still mass fucking Soviet super nationalists, right? Oh, yeah. I mean, he was playing with his... He really was. It was a big, bold step, right? And then we got Yeltsin.
Yeah. Yeltsin,
and Medvedev.
He was like vodka personified.
Yeah.
Yeltsin was.
But that's that kind of like choiceless choice that the autocrats love.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you can vote for Yeltsin or Ronald McDonald. Right? It's like, geez, neither's a really good choice.
Right.
But I still get to vote.
Right.
I still get to vote. Yeah. Oh, man, and they picked Ronald McDonald. But Yeltsin got kind of sick, too.
Yeah.
I think he kind of had mental deficiencies towards the end.
Yeah. And he was in power for quite a while.
Quite a while.
Did Putin take over right after him?
No, there was
somebody in between in there.
Oh man,
I can't think of who it is. More Yeltsin was.
I think he came from America. He was like and he came from a smaller position. Who was the guy in Boris Johnson? Not Boris Johnson. Who was the guy in Britain? Who was the same kind of thing?
Right.
Yeah. Just kind of that flashy, like he's the cruise director or whatever. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
it's gonna be a party.
Yeah, you're like, man, I know that's appropriate.
Can you bring out Isaac instead, the bartender?
Yes.
Also in '89, Mike, the oil tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground in Prince William Sound. 10 million gallons of oil spread into that pristine.
Oh, geez, I thought it was more than that.
Waterway.
10 million barrels or 10 million gallons?
Maybe it was barrels.
Because for some reason I was thinking 42 million gallons.
That was
I think that's right on the. Oh yeah, it's just awful. And the guy was drunk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think he got rehired later on.
Did he really?
Yeah, either through the same company or something like that.
Insured to do that?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I think a lot of shit's way more loose than you and I think it is.
Was that a worse disaster than the BP?
No way.
Spill?
BP was almost 10 times that.
10 times
BP was
that,
insane.
Right?
And then they got to reopen less than 2 years later.
Yes.
Not only did they not get dissolved as a company, which I would have taken every asset that they had that I could reach.
Right.
Every single fucking one.
Yes.
Nope, that didn't happen. They got fined like $100 million or something dumb.
Which doesn't cover the cost of...
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Let alone punitive
nothing happened to them, and then they just went straight back to business.
Yeah. And like 11 people died or something.
Something awful. Yeah. Real people. Real people.
Yeah.
For something that was 100% preventable. 100% preventable.
We're going to go ahead and turn the alarms off to let the guys sleep because we need them to work tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a drag. And it was awful. And I don't know. I mean, Yeah. Jeez, come on, people.
Yeah, I do remember the Exxon Valdez. I remember, again,
awful.
kind of like the Ukraine thing, looking at the news and the magazines and kind of showing where the spill and how far it had gone and all that stuff.
And we saw the wildlife because it really pristine shores was the thing, right? Not to say the Gulf isn't nice, because of course it isn't filled with life, but these were kind of pristine shores.
Yeah,
it was really gross, and they didn't use the dispersals. I don't know if we have the same technology where they just spray like WD-40 on top of the oil spill. Kinda. I'm making light of it, but and so that way it breaks that surface tension, and so now it's just out of sight.
Right.
It ain't gone.
Where'd it go?
Yeah.
We gotta go.
So, and they didn't do that back then, so we really saw what had happened. And isn't that the initial, like, Earth Day, I think?
Maybe
which also qualifies because there was a spill, because they were getting oil right off the rich people's coastline in, like, not Malibu, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But right down around there, and then all of a sudden it went, and they were like, whoa. Is this a byproduct of this process?
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
So I think that really kind of awakened people to what...
Yeah, I've seen historical pictures of folks on the beach in California with the dikes in the background. The ugly...
Now, California still is one of the major oil producers on the planet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing.
It's mostly offshore now, right?
I really don't know where. Yeah, by Bakersfield, too, I think.
Yes, that's true. Well, I mean, it's Bakersfield.
Yeah, it beats me. Oh, man. I don't know. But we just have to recognize, because we want energy, no doing. But at what cost are we willing to pay for it?
Right.
And how do we mitigate those costs?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo. And I remember this pretty well. I was working at Shucks in downtown Seattle at the time, the auto supply. Now it's O'Reilly. But Shucks, the Persian Gulf, the first war, 1991.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when it kicked off and going over, we had a big display of car radios and cassette decks that you could, Jafco or whatever the brand was.
Oh, nice.
Went over and just turned them on so we could just sit there and listen to the news of the bombing and the airstrikes and the shock. Just crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And that was because Saddam decided to attack Kuwait and go in.
Because Kuwait was going sideways with the drills. And
taking his oil.
He took his milkshake.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the fuck that was. If they really did, I don't know. But then a bunch of stories came up to where they were smashing babies and doing stuff that wasn't necessarily, factual, right?
Yeah.
But no.
And I think at that point, because we had done Panama, we'd gone into Panama and taken Noriega, Grenada stuff, but we hadn't had a big fight in a while. And I think the military-industrial complex was itching to flex some muscle.
Being a 20-year occupation plus mass sanctions all through the Clinton years, right? It was a devastating thing.
Didn't take Saddam out of power, kicked his ass, but got a good coalition of countries together to go in and do this. I remember Schwarzkopf and Colin Powell were the two big generals kind of leading the charge at that point.
I think it was 500,000 troops or something. It was huge. Just like an overwhelming
massive
force, right? For a problem that really Western power created by creating those borders, right? Because they're not naturally occurring borders based on culture, language, or anything else, right?
And the oil. The need for the oil. I always said,
the want for it. We never really did need anybody else's oil ever, but that wasn't the deal we made because we're the muscle that gets hired out to protect those lanes, right? Exactly. So, and the Persian Gulf is why that's the Persian Gulf War, right? The Gulf's the deal.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was insane, and they were lighting on all the wells on fire
after seeing the images of the black smoke. I had a couple buddies that actually ended up over there, joined the Marines, and Gil. You played with Gil, with the Raw T we talked about when Dickie was here. Gil and my buddy Matt that passed away last year, both shipped over. I think they were based in Saudi Arabia because they were either fixing or guarding satellite stations or radar installations over there, making sure that they were up and running. I'd have to talk to Gil about it. I haven't talked to him for a while, but and find out for sure. But I think that's what his unit was doing, his Marine. Yeah. So, yeah, he was supposed to end his Marine career in San Diego on the beaches and stuff. Did his time in Okinawa, did his time in all these kind of crappy places, and ended up having to go to
worst place, to
the desert. But man, that was crazy thinking about that.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And then again, right, went back later. After, I guess, but that's after what we're talking about.
Yeah, because they had weapons of mass destruction, which they didn't have.
Yeah,
and he insulted his daddy.
Whatever the bizarro motivations.
God, do you remember when we thought of George W. Bush as a war criminal?
The worst possible. He still was a war criminal.
Well, I'm not excusing him. I'm just saying. Remember when that was the worst?
And just that we, for whatever reason, haven't yet shaken off, except once in a while, that kind of weird fucking CIA, military industrial complex meddling attitude, right? Yeah. And that's only a portion of our power, right? But we still kind of let it fester.
Yeah.
Right? And I recognize that there's, competition, for a resource on the globe and for markets on the globe and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But is that really the best methodology to secure those things?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think being the shining example is how you do it, man.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I think I've got a lot of evidence backing me up on that.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody comes to America because they love the military industrial complex. Right? They come because they can kind of believe in the rule of law to some degree. They can believe in having
safe
property
place
rights.
To raise
yes,
their families,
exactly. They don't have to worry about state power actively working against them.
Right.
Which in a lot of other places you do. Right? And we still got problems. No doubt. We got violence and gangs and fucking blah, blah, blah. That we still have to worry about other people taking our shit.
Right.
But at least it's not state power.
Right.
And you can talk to state power if somebody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, ideally.
And hopefully get them, to back you. And, Geez. I definitely remember both this kind of two-parter, 91, the beating of Rodney King.
Oh, man.
And seen the images. And then a year later, or sometime in 92, the acquittal. And the riots kicking off. I had just moved back into my parents' house because I got divorced from the first ex-wife. Went back to live with them, and I remember being downstairs in the downstairs bedroom. I'd sort of just moved in, and I had a small little TV set that I plugged in and just sat there for hours because that was the 24-hour news cycle. That was the CNN had started then, and just being glued, just watching over and over again the beating of Denny.
The truck driver.
Just the looting of the stores and just the craziness of it. Just being like, wow.
Yeah.
But just
fuck. I don't think rioting is the answer, but I understand that.
I understand it.
Absolute, the need to get it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we all watched it happen.
Yeah, and just not understanding how those guys weren't fucking convicted.
Yeah.
Because you watch it and you're like, there's nothing this guy is doing at this point.
He is of no threat to them.
Not at all.
No. So at that point, that's the crime.
Yeah. When the dude's on the ground and he's not moving.
Yeah.
And you can get handcuffs on him, and there's 6 of you,
even if
or whatever
he's not get anywhere. He doesn't have a weapon, and he's not going to be able to break that circle of like however many cops that was.
There's like 6 or 8
He's not getting away from him. You can wait him out at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it was insane. And the fact that we saw it happen.
Yes.
Right. It was clear as fucking day. You know what I mean?
There's nothing you can tell me. I can understand if he's on, because they said he was on PCP, and maybe they proved that he was. I don't remember. But once they got him down, there was no need to continue what they were doing.
It's a frenzy. And just like that's the same as rioting.
Yes.
It's the same thing. It's where
Yes.
you get caught up in whatever burst of raw motion or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Humans are capable of it. We've seen it numerous times. Countless times, right? And that's a dangerous place for a human to get to because we have killing tools also.
Yeah.
Right? Because they could have just shot the guy 200 times.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, he survived that, bro.
And he survived that.
He survived
for years.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Foreman stuff. The George, not Foreman, Furman.
George Floyd. Yeah.
God,
Furman was the bad
Furman's
cop.
the bad. We'll talk
OJ.
about OJ in a minute, but yes, George Floyd. Same thing with that.
Yeah.
Guy's on the ground. He's handcuffed.
Yeah.
You've got 4 cops there.
Yeah. He's of no danger.
No danger.
And nor is he a flight risk. Not in any real sense of it.
No.
Yes. So that's to me, that's
him
just
up, get him in the back of a cop car.
So therefore, that technique really shouldn't be employed in that situation.
Yes.
Right? It's like,
Yeah.
And that's, I know. And that's why state power is a dangerous thing to invest too much in without transparency and accountability.
Absolutely.
Right? Damn, it's a drag, man.
Yeah, more than 50 deaths, thousands of injuries and arrests, $1 billion in property damage from the Rodney King riots. And I don't want to say it was Rodney King. It was the acquittal.
The acquittal riots is what that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
Strange. And maybe, but also, just like, we talked about with 6th and Logan, I don't know were they charged with attempted murder? Were they charged with dereliction of duty? I don't know what the charges were for the lawyers to be able to say, well, that charge means this.
Right.
What they did was this. But it was attempted murder, but it wasn't attempted manslaughter or whatever.
I don't know if it was a sign of the times. The George Floyd stuff, I think they got charged federally with
both
civil rights. Oh, no, that's right.
Yes,
yeah,
but
it was state and
so
federal.
even if, because there's talk of pardoning that guy.
Serious?
Yeah.
Really?
So, because they're just appeasing the worst of us, right? But he would still face... that doesn't get him out of the state charge.
Yeah.
Right now, I think he's facing 22 years on state crimes.
Okay.
Right. So.
Fuck. Yeah, but I don't think they ever looked at charging them federally. The Rodney King officers.
I don't know if we had that hate crime stuff back then.
Maybe not.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, probably not.
And to be charged, I think you would most of that applied to if you were denying somebody, if the state was denying somebody a right to go to a school or something like that. As far as I don't think
a civil rights violation.
Yeah, I can't really think of too many charges previous to kind of the modern age, right, where you would be charged with, going against somebody's civil rights.
Man,
it's just awful.
I mean, that's what the FBI had to do in the 50s and 60s, right, or especially the 60s, was civil rights violations for some of these.
Like letting little kids go to a school and shit. Et cetera, right? But God. Yeah, because then the feds were bigger. They were the bigger dick in the room.
Well, because the state and the city wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so weird, dude. And I mean, we act like that's 1,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Like it's quest for fire and shit. It's like, dude, that's the point of tonight. This is within our
lifetime.
Yes. Yes, it's not ancient history.
I want to say the Lovings, right? Because we've talked about them before. Was that in our?
I'm 99%
in the Gen
sure
X
it is.
generation.
Yes. In Gen X for sure.
Yes. Yeah, because I think they fought it all the way up to the early 70s or something, didn't they?
Man. The right, to be married.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, man.
And what's weird to me is I grew up, one of my friends that lived in the house behind us in the alley was a mixed race couple. John Franklin, great guy in Seattle, did a lot of great stuff in Seattle community and stuff. White wife, mixed son and daughter. And it never seemed odd to me.
Because
that's what they were. Who they
it's
were.
just the way it is. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And then Don Barrysmith and his wife, Japanese ancestry and African American ancestry, friends of the family, never seemed weird to me.
Yeah, because
I grew up with it.
Yes,
you know.
and you have to be taught that it's weird.
Yes,
right.
yeah.
No, race as a construct didn't even happen until like just a few centuries ago.
Right.
It wasn't even a fucking thing.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like so weird.
Yeah.
What a weird small dick thing to fucking eyeball.
really is.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Dude. And that state. See, that's the problem. If I want to be a racist, okay. Right? But for me to write the policies based on that, that's a problem.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Take it home, make your jokes, do
whatever.
bullshit
That's fine. I
crap.
can believe whatever the fuck I want to believe.
Put
Dude.
holes in your
Yes.
sheets, whatever you want to do.
Yep. But that's not the.
But it's not.
No.
Yeah.
It's well, KKK is not state power. That they might have been allowed by state power, but they weren't sanctioned officially, right?
Yeah.
But police are.
Yeah.
Right. Laws are. Right, and that kind of thing. So but that also means it's more curable. I'm not looking to cure racism in someone's heart, right? That's their choice,
Right.
But to purge it from the state, yes, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus,
That's a
who
whole.
doesn't love black women? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I don't know, dude. But 1993, the first terrorist attack on the World Trade Center.
Wow. Yeah,
remember that? The
yeah.
bomb exploding
Yes.
in the basement garage?
Yep.
Killed 6 people, injured 1,000, and cost about
Yeah, the
500
blind
million
shake.
in damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did like a van bomb or something, right?
yeah,
They
yeah.
parked a van down at the bottom. Jesus. That was 93.
Yeah. When was Oklahoma City?
Well, that's
coming up,
next.
all right,
Yeah,
all right.
geez.
Yeah.
So we're
But yeah, the blind shake. I remember he might have passed in prison. Did he die?
I think he died.
Yeah, because I think he was diabetic or something.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And the bombings are shit.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Cowardly
Fuck off.
bullshit.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Fuck off.
Yeah. Any terrorist is
No, not
cowardly.
into it, dude.
attack.
Not into it, man.
Yeah, geez. And then I just found out, or maybe I knew this before, but Danny knows somebody that actually died here at the 51-day standoff, the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas. She actually went to high school with a girl that became a Branch Davidian, and her sister and her, and I think the sister had a baby, and they all perished in the fires and stuff. 51 days, killed 80 cult members, and that was
80 cult members died.
Died, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was because they were buying a mass quantity of weapons, firearms and stuff, was I think which
Was that
kicked
Tanner
off.
Reno? Was that the Tanner Reno years?
Yeah. Her and the Ruby Ridge thing, which they got blamed for, which brought up the Oklahoma City bombing was sort of
I think that was a movement anyway, right? These weird like Christian nationalist movements, same kind of thing. But then I think from that certainly came the Montana militia movement and that kind of localized militia stuff. Yeah, because the feds, I mean, they didn't mind it when they were bombing people in Baltimore,
right?
Or wholesale incarceration and murder of the other, right? But now that all of a sudden a couple of, I don't know enough about the Branch Davidians to really speak on it, but I don't know if the feds are completely to blame for 80 deaths. Right. It's
because there could have been a resolution, and yes, I absolutely hate what we've talked about, the state overstepping
the
their
abuse
bounds.
of state power. Yes.
But at some point, you can fight it legally.
Yeah.
Right. You can take it to courts. Could
they have just, I don't know this, but could they have just set all the weapons outside the door and said, leave us alone now? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know. And I don't remember exactly. I know there's been a bunch of documentaries lately about it. I don't know why it's been back in the news. Maybe it's an anniversary or something. But a lot of like British citizens were part of the Branch Davidian
That's
movement.
interesting.
Yes, people from all over the world, but a lot of like UK
and
citizens.
I knew a dude who was whose dad was on Coast to Coast a lot.
Okay.
But he, there was some running theory about the Branch Davidians that they weren't what we were being led to believe as far as the cult goes or whatever.
Okay. Something more nefarious or?
No, kinda. Yeah.
Okay.
But I really don't know enough about them.
I don't either, and I wish I just remember the images. The armored personnel carriers. I don't want to call them tanks or anything, but knocking the walls down. And who started the fires?
I don't know, but there's still women and children inside.
Yes.
Right? I don't know. It seems like a shitty use of state power. When again, just like with those guys around Rodney King, just wait them the fuck out.
Yeah.
Wait it out. You have constant supplies coming in.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to storm anything.
Right.
Right. Every siege has been that way in time immemorial.
Yeah.
Just wait them the fuck out. And then if something goes sideways, you can at least go, well, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were giving them the opportunity.
We gave them an opportunity to surrender for fucking X amount of...
I wish I did. Maybe I may go watch a documentary on it, just kind of figure out.
And I feel like there was a made-for-TV movie not long ago.
Yeah.
Starring David Hasselhoff.
I remember back there was years ago. There was the dad from the Wonder Years, the original Wonder Years, played an ATF agent that was involved with that, and they did a whole movie about it. And I don't remember if there was. I know there was a bunch of weapons charges that they were worried about them stockpiling weapons,
and it had something to do with either kidnapping or something like that. Like some of the women didn't want to be there,
like the Jonestown stuff,
something like that. Yeah. But I think it was kind of forced.
We're ready to go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And if women are forced breeding stock for cults and shit, right?
Yeah.
Cults aren't always for fun.
No.
Right. There's some ding-dongs out there, bro. Some ding-dongs.
And a lot of them...
typically it's women who suffer at the hands of them.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
children.
Like with, Jones, it's like everybody.
Yeah.
And
Jones, felt like it sort of started out on a good note, and maybe the power hunger came of it. I know the dude that was at Jonestown.
Wow.
He was one of the ones that went down there early to get the property set up to get everybody moving down there. So there's pictures of him on bulldozers clearing land, and then there's pictures of him and a big group of people walking with Jones, kind of surveying the area and stuff. And my understanding from him is that he was sent back to San Francisco to headquarters on a errand for Jones himself, and that's why he wasn't there when the shit went down.
I don't know. And I think with that kind of stuff, just like our present administration, it's like you have to keep going further and further and further. Right? You can't just go, well, we're going to live our very best lives. Because if you're in a doomsday cult, you got to promise something else.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't know if that started out as a doomsday cult.
Yeah, but I think they developed that way, right?
Yeah,
because you have to maintain.
And then everybody's against us.
Yep. It just kind of escalates over and over and over. What a trip. Yeah, man.
There's still like Branch Davidians out there.
Are there really? Yeah, I really don't know enough about
Not Branch Davidian. What was the guys that wore the Nikes and shaved their heads and the hail bob?
Died in the hail. Are they really? There's more of them?
Well, there's still somebody running like a website devoted to the
I can't remember the name of that called. They self-castrated.
Yes.
Yeah. What the fuck, man? Oh, man. If your cult wants you to self-castrate, look for another cult.
Yeah, there's other...
It's like, there's got to be something
other ways
else
to worship.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I promise. Zen's easy. You can find Zen anywhere, bro. Go for that. It's it's satisfying. It's satisfying. You don't need to keep making it more extreme. There's no like extreme Zen doesn't exist, right? It's just regular Zen.
Also in 1993, Mike, the Battle of Mogadishu took place. The Black Hawk Down stuff. Crazy. Because we were there trying to we didn't do anything in Rwanda, right? And I should have put that on our list.
We were trying to stop ethnic cleansing, kind of, and just the fall of a government.
None of the nations really stepped up to help the Rwandan people.
Oh, no, that was awful. Oh, no,
just
that was awful.
And the UN didn't, was sort
just
of
kind of late to it.
Yes.
And because it's, it wasn't an economic.
So I kind of feel I feel like the Ethiopian stuff happened after that, right? And I don't know if Clinton just felt like he didn't do enough with Rwanda, that he, was trying to, because they were there trying to take down some of the warlords, and that's kind of what it started off as. They got intel on the whereabouts of a wanted warlord, and they were going to go in and capture him, but they didn't realize that the whole city was ready to fight back.
Yeah, better the devil they knew than the devil they didn't, I guess.
Jeez.
Rough. And plus, just like we had talked about earlier, it's like, if they can't trust that the U.S. is going to defend them, right, after they topple this government, right?
Yeah.
Because if they lose, is the U.S. going to get them out?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And
they've done time and time again.
We show that we don't always, right? Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Because the warlord will murder you.
Right.
Right?
Without...
So it's like, what are you going to gamble on?
Right. Yeah.
That the good guy might help you out?
Right.
Right? It's like, I don't know. It's like Homelander. Is America Homelander?
I could get caught
we're more, but
that.
We're all of these things.
Yeah.
That's kind of
we really are.
That's the bittersweet of it all. We're all of these things, right?
We are Superman, but we are also Homelander.
Yeah. You know what? You're right.
Oh my God! 18 soldiers ended up dying in that.
Yeah, Marines, I think mostly. Were they recon Marines? I think a lot of them were.
Army Rangers.
Oh, all right.
Army Rangers, some Delta Force, and then of course, I don't know. Maybe the Marines were the Black Hawk guys, the helicopter pilots.
I'm not sure. They do such things.
That was a total failure too in the planning, and maybe it was because they didn't expect such a response to it, resistance to it. But it was a complete failure of epic proportions on the ground. I think the general that was there took full responsibility and made Clinton look like shit. Was not a good look for...
No, but we also, during the Clinton years, we were involved in Europe with, what was the ethnic cleansing going on over there?
In Bosnia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Herzegovina.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, and that was General Wesley Clark over there in that theater, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know who the general in charge of that portion of the world, right, was at the time. Geez,
was
peace,
that Slobodan?
Milosevic. Oh, yeah, dude.
God. And
just
I know...
some rough players, dude.
A couple of Bosnian brothers that worked for me were 16 at the time, and their dad was one of the ones that was taken away from their village and ended up being in one of those mass graves.
No, and I mean,
did locate.
Yes, and we're not that far from it in the U.S. People pretend like it can't happen here.
Right.
But that's all the acid and poison that's been poured against that social bond that we all shared as Americans, as the big A Americans. That's why they erode that, so they can sick one part against another. Right? And steal property, in the process, But the Cossacks did it at behest of the Tsar. You know what I mean? You can run down the fucking list, right? It's like there's always some tool to be used by the strong arm. Right. Man, but that was some shit. All of which, and Clinton was, at the time, I even said that was an overreach of executive power. You know what I mean? Because they were doing assassinations and all this kind of stuff. And then Obama did the same thing. It was an overreach of executive power. Yes, dude. And you know what I mean? He had a whole drone program that he was lying about. You know what I mean? It's like... right? It's like transparency and accountability. Right? That's how you preserve the republic. That doesn't dissolve the republic.
No, it really doesn't. It shouldn't. Mike, 1994-95, O.J. Simpson murders Nicole Brown Simpson, or his ex-wife, and a friend of hers that was there, a waiter that had come to deliver, Ron Goldman.
Yeah, that's right.
So
they weren't like lovers or anything?
No, he was a waiter. He knew her because she had frequented that restaurant.
But he just happened to be there?
Just happened to be at the
drag.
Found her eyeglass case and said, I'll run him over to her house because expensive prescription eyeglasses.
Oh, man.
Just happened to be on and got murdered. Right there.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah. And then
by somebody other than OJ.
Well, apparently.
Wow.
We all remember the Al Cowling Bronco low speed.
The whole thing was just
chase.
Bonkers, dude. Bonkers.
The acquittal, if it fits, it doesn't fit, he must have quit.
The whole thing was
the
bonkers.
Furman racist cop, which he probably is.
Oh, I think he was a shit cop, but OJ did it.
Yes.
And then he wrote a book called, Maybe I Did It.
Here's how I would have done it. Here's how it went down. If I did it, this is how it would have went down.
Oh, just disgusting, dude. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And got away with it. And it wasn't until he did, tried to steal a bunch of his memorabilia.
Yeah, once he had a property crime. You can do crimes against women.
Yeah.
But watch out for those property crimes, bro. You might get in trouble.
Yeah. You might actually have to do some time.
Yeah, I think he did it in like a place that doesn't take kindly like that, like Nevada or something.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, they don't like that shit.
Yeah, do you remember how long he spent in prison?
I don't.
Just a few years. It wasn't long enough.
No.
Got out and was able to go play golf and live his life. And
then I thought he did something else. I thought he had to go back because he did.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I thought so. He was
violated parole or something.
He's kind of a failure.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, but he was in the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, I know.
Man, how dare you take those from me?
And the fucking Hertz commercials. Were
and he was a fucking great athlete, right? And he did kind of cross over the barrier to where people just kind of forgot he was a black man, right?
Right.
And so he was just you know what I mean? It's like, especially at the time when it was still a thing to be a black man in public, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's why I was so disappointed. And I remember because I was doing a delivery route. I was in college. I was doing a delivery route at the time, and all we had was AM radio in the car. So I would listen to the trial as much as I could, just because I'm driving around 8 hours a day, right? And every day I had my route planned where I could stop by the parents' house in Bonnie Lake, and I'd get like an hour-long lunch hanging out with Mom. So I'd jump in on Mom, and we'd sit there and discuss, did you hear the testimony and stuff like that? She was absolutely convinced he didn't do it.
Wow.
And I think it was because she felt like he was railroaded, So could possibly do it. He's such a good-looking guy. He's popular guy. There's no way he could have done this, right?
Yeah, too well. But that's how women get murdered.
Yeah.
And I'm glad your mom didn't get murdered by O.J. Simpson.
No, right? I know.
Yeah, because it doesn't really matter what you look like.
No.
Right? Violence against women takes all sorts of forms, right? Bummer. And I'm pretty sure he did it. My favorite idea was that he was drawing everybody away from his kid. His kid did it.
Oh.
Like his kid had a collection of knives because he was studying culinary arts or something. All this other kind of stuff to where I kind of was like, well,
which
and if you're going to lie,
one of his older kids, not Nicole's kids, because they were like 10 or 9.
Chucky. One of his older kids who had a resentment and a bunch of, maybe even a drug problem and all these other kinds of things to where he was just kind of
blaming.
Dissatisfied or whatever. But
I hadn't heard that.
No, but there's no proof to that.
No,
not really. That's all completely just a supposition, right?
Yeah, jeez.
But do you want to know what is proof? The glove.
Yeah, the glove they found on his property with her blood on.
Yeah, dude.
The bloody footprints, the bloody socks, the injury to his hand, the day,
Yes.
just all the stuff. But the blood in his Bronco.
Oh my God. Yeah,
it's just.
Yeah, but all the more reason to run a tight police squad so you don't fuck up a slam dunk case like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just make a mockery of your department, right?
Yeah, and it made like sort of celebrity out of like Marsha Clark, because I remember these names.
And the judge.
Wong and the judge. The kid that did the CSI type stuff. The evidence collection.
Kato Caitlin.
Was that guy in movies before?
No, I think he kind of was a struggling actor or something. But he did, Dance with the Stars and Hollywood Squares and shit after. What the fuck? I don't know if I'd want my coming up
to be associated
based on the death of some lady who just happened to be married to the wrong dude, right?
Yeah.
It's like that would be a rough way to secure your stardom and shit,
God, I wonder if we should. I don't know. It's sort of a tragedy, but there's so much we could talk about on that whole thing. There's so many.
It was nuts.
Just crazy from here to there kind of stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode on friggin' OJ.
Yeah, and even South Park was in on that shit, right? It's like, oh no, you fucked up and.
Mike, you mentioned earlier it was always thought to be a response to Ruby Ridge and Branch Davidian, but the Oklahoma City bombing, 1995.
A bunch of women and kids.
168.
Including a daycare.
A daycare on the first floor.
Including race traitor, white kids.
Yes.
You piece of shit.
Yeah.
You fucking backwards, knuckle dragon, stupid man.
Yeah. Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. And his one of the Terry's
was
brother,
like brother or stepbrother,
something like that, was in on the planning, at least the discussion of it.
So shitty.
Where they parked like a U-Haul or Hertz moving.
I feel like
truck.
God, it was a brand that's not around anymore because it kind of lost its reputation after. Not Ryder. Maybe it was Hertz or something.
Yeah. Parked it in front of the building and it was like
and killed a bunch of kids. Yeah, nitrogen. And what's the other one? Not a diesel gas or something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a recipe to do it or whatever.
You see the images. I can still see the
shitty,
hollowed out.
Bombers are cowards.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Let alone racist bombers. That's just an added dimension to fuck off.
Yeah. And
fuck off.
Complete dumbass. They were able to track to him. Renting the vehicle, or one of the Nichols brothers or something left behind the evidence, and I mean, thank God they got caught, and he got death sentence, right? He got put to death.
Yeah,
Timothy McVeigh, at least.
Yeah. And a lot of that is there's a lot of fiction that is that kind of white nationalist fiction, and they just kind of spell these things out so the ding-dongs read them and put them into life, just like shooting at power substations and cell towers and shit like that all comes straight out of white nationalist fiction, right, which is just thinly veiled manuscripts or whatever, but it's a trip, dude. Come on, people, we're better than this. We're better than this. But that was all I know. I remember that. And just killing women and children with a bomb. What a piece of shit.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
God. They're no better than Taliban. It's the same thing, man.
It's exactly the same thing.
And y'all don't embrace Taliban because they're wrong and evil. Same fucking thing. Yeah. These guys are wrong and evil. Get them out of the tribe.
Yes.
They don't belong here with the rest of us. Go away. Go away.
Yeah. Oh boy. And then the very next year, another bombing took place, not as severe, but the Atlanta Olympics bombing. And that one dude, the security guard, that sort of got, was looked at. What was that? I can't remember his name now. I didn't write it down. But he was like, investigated pretty harshly and stuff. And I don't remember. I think he got arrested, and they were looking at him, and it kind of ruined his life. And
bummer.
Did he commit suicide?
I don't remember. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, but just not feeling like safe. Like you just plant these fucking bombs in places.
It's so shitty because that's the idea. Is just to make the larger populace shaky, right? Such a dick move. Man, life is hard enough, man. It is. Yeah. People have fucking heart attacks. People have strokes. Leave us the fuck alone. You know what I mean? Leave us alone with your fucking weird immediate, deadly bullshit. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And then because the Republican Revolution, I think of 94, when they stormed and took both houses of Congress for the first time.
Was that Newt?
Newt and his,
piece of shit.
Randy Tate.
They're fucking cult members too. And some of the biggest scumbags, at least of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays our scumbags are of a different level. But Newt Gingrich is a piece of shit. Right? And he's just failed upwards his whole...
Yes.
He's never done anything good for the United States of America.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And the Grover Norquist cultists and all that shit, it's like, they're fucking ding-dongs.
Yeah,
right? And I guess
ding-dongs.
overall, they must have been like in with the Federalists and the Heritage and all that kind of stuff. But it's psycho.
Yeah.
They're fucking wrong.
Because of them, we got the whole Monica Lewinsky, Clinton scandal.
Whitewater, fucking, et cetera,
the Whitewater, all the way, the Paula Jones stuff.
So dumb. Every single fucking thing. Yeah.
Just investigation after investigation.
And no charges.
All it got to.
No charges.
All it got
Zero
to.
charges.
Was a blowjob in the White House.
Yeah. No criminal charges. Zero criminal charges.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. They did impeach him in the House.
Yeah, sure. Well, that was for lying. And I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I could see him getting impeached all the way through for that. Because you shouldn't stare at the American people and lie about something as dumb as that.
Yes.
If you're like, Godzilla's coming to the shore, and you got to nuke him, so you got to make up a story about a volcano or something, that's a lie I can get behind. But for something as dumb as that, don't lie to us. That's just being a dick.
Yeah, you can come out to the American people and say, "Hey,
I have failed you.
Inappropriate in my marriage."
Yep. Yes. Yeah. I
need to
failed
make
my
amends.
marriage, and because I feel all of you are kind of my family, I need to apologize to each and every one of you. I'm so terribly sorry.
He was on his way out.
Yeah.
He had less than 2 years to go.
Yeah. Yep. Didn't have to worry about re-election.
Didn't have to worry about re-election.
Nope. And would have cemented his legacy as a better person than it did.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What a weird choice he made.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm not a sexual prude.
I'm not,
but I don't like lying.
Yeah.
Because that destroys trust, and there's some relationships where trust is really important, right? And I kind of think the presidency should be one of those relationships, right?
Right.
Especially for something dumb.
Yeah.
Right? If it's like, I get it, because the president's got some stinky shit going on in the fucking...
Massive stressors.
Yes. There's a lot going on. Some of which is probably not something we as the citizens want to know about. Right.
Not a day-to-day kind of the 10,000 foot view is about maybe 5,000 is what we can handle.
I don't know. But I was mad about that even at the time. It's like
I felt very let down by the whole thing. I supported him. Of course, I didn't want George H.W. Bush again. I certainly didn't want Bob Dole. Or any of those ilk. Flirted with the possibility of the little gnome,
Ross Perot,
just as something different, but it boiled down to the best choice.
I don't think. I mean, Clinton, I didn't really like the Bosnia policies all the way through, right? There's plenty of shit the sanctions against the Iraqi people, but the oil, you know what I mean? It's like, and just all that kind of stuff. We really fucked over the Kurds and blah, 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 blah.
Didn't feel good about NAFTA at the time because I wanted to protect union jobs.
Yeah, and that would have been the time to have done it, and you could still have had NAFTA, but just written in some other things. That specifically did get left out. So 100%. But I think Bill Clinton was one of the better Republican presidents of all time. Right?
Agreed.
And that's fine. But I still don't like being lied to. Right?
I do feel.
But that's not up for me to put him up in the category of some of these other presidents we've had. Right?
So that happened in 98. In 99, he released the 1999 federal budget plan, which was the very first balanced federal budget since 1969. You remember they paid off the fucking national debt.
Yeah.
A Democrat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
paid off the national debt.
Or balanced the budget.
Balanced the budget.
Yeah.
And I think the debt was super low.
I think it got paid down a little bit, right? Because overall it's just been ching.
Yeah. And then 2000? And that's been sort of the Republican neocon playbook
they never
for
meant
years.
it, though. They never meant it.
No, it was always when a Democrats in office scream about the national debt. When a Republican's in office, spend. Start a war, create a crisis, spend, and then when the Democrats take over,
cut revenue,
cut
at the
revenue.
Same time, yep.
Yes,
yeah.
Run the national debt up, and then when the Democrats say, "Oh, the national debt."
Yeah, and but the framework has been flip-flopped.
Yes,
and so we've allowed that narrative to continue. Yeah, right. No, absolutely, 100% true, and easily provable. Anybody out there who doesn't believe that, that's easy to look up.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, and it's odd. And I think now I can't remember what percentage of the interest, because we're usury. We're committing a sin to ourselves by charging interest on our national debt, because we kind of gotta, or somebody's buying those bonds to finance that debt, so we got to pay off the interest on those bonds, or the entire world sinks if we decide we're no longer going to honor those bonds. Right. It's a lot, though. Just the interest payments on those is a lot.
Yes,
it's a lot, and you can't really say you can't not do it. You can, because everything would sink. Everything. Because the minute that bonds aren't respected as the stable place to park money, we're sunk, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Sunk.
Yeah. Bonds is the backbone.
Yeah, T-bills or whatever you want to call them, right? It's like, oh man, buy low, sell high.
Yeah, that's what
Back in the war days, in the Second World War, they had a 25% on war bonds.
Wow.
25% interest. And it's like, I don't know. I think bonds are a great idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. It's a great way to get out of stuff.
Yeah.
To make investments anyway, not just to pay for stupid shit.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But to use them to make investments. That is what funded the highway projects, et cetera, right? But then you get so much back for those, for those investments, right?
And Mike, I hate to do this to you. I'm going to leave this Gen X before we hit the 2000s on a sad note. 1999, the Columbine High School shootings. 14 students, including the two shooters, one teacher, and 23 wounded.
Wow.
I know it wasn't the very first school shooting, but it was the one that I think might have been the worst up to that point.
And it kind of ushered in the modern age of school shootings, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have shooter drills before that point, right? Yeah, I forgot it was two guys.
Yeah, it was two kids, Dylan and I don't even want to say
that's
their names.
Fucked up.
Just and I don't remember. I think they felt like outcasts that didn't fit in, and came up with this plan to
start a band.
Yes.
And I don't want to pretend to be flippant about emotional pain in the youth, right? It's a very real thing, right? But come on, we got to find other ways through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like we sort of just kind of hit some of the bigger ones of our generation from 65 to 1990, and there's so much that's happened, 1999. So much has happened in 2000 and beyond. A whole nother episode could be done on that. But just, man, those are just fascinating, right?
Yes.
And I guess every generation has sort of that.
I guess, except, the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, all of
Grog and Slog.
Yes, Grog and Slog. Like, I think it is, I don't know about the quickening, right? But it's, once technology and we had the ability to harness electricity as well as we do, and could make factories and assembly lines and blah, 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 and had schools and all that, I mean, there's no doubt it's accelerated, right? Because even once Bronze Age came around, it sat at the Bronze Age for a minute.
For a while.
Right, yeah. So, because, we went from, in the 20th century is insane, but just in our time, right, it's, so much.
With the tech and the communication systems and the 24-hour news cycles and just the on and on. But just the from 65 to where we're at now, it's mind-boggling on how fast technology has. Because now we're talking AI. We're talking,
which is just going to, increase that acceleration.
Quantum computing and all this stuff.
Yeah, can those two things go hand in hand? I have no idea.
They can.
Oh, boy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Nice knowing.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I feel like I'm in a simulation right now, right? Shoot. Producing that energy. I'm in my
the pod.
The pod, just...
I guess 99 was the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
99, somewhere right in there.
Yeah, right in there. So that's
Jeez. Mike, sharing is caring. What's been going on in your world, sir? Anything new? Hey, did you ever go see that Sinners movie?
No, I still have not.
Okay, I'm thinking about taking the kid tomorrow night because the wife's out of town. And
people really like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is it rated R?
It probably is,
Cool. Yeah. Kugler. Neat. No, geez, what is
I'm going to check that out. I know there's been some health concerns in the family. Not that you want to go too much into that. So you've been dealing with that stuff.
Yeah, which is,
Never.
I'm not terribly good at it. So just trying to make my way through all that and hope for the best. You got to remember to hope for the best. So,
yeah. Is that going to fill your weekend probably then?
I would sure think so, yeah. One portion of that or another. But, then what else is coming up? The obelisk piercing 8th anniversary is coming up.
Oh, right next door.
Yeah, neighbors. So we're having a dinner out, so I'm going to show up for that. Because I'm really, not to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but I'm terribly proud of those kids.
Nice,
they do really good work. They're the best in the business at what they do. Is honest and
that's
forthright.
Owned by Naomi and
Naomi and Lucas.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah, no,
8 years, wow.
Incredible. And she's been at piercing longer than that because she was, had various tattoo parlors that also had piercing studios, but that's her own.
Were they in this space for a while?
Yeah.
They were
when it was Ancient Arts.
That's right.
Tattoos.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I had some work done right at the back there.
Nice, right on.
Oh, yeah, no, so she's one of my favorite demon pigs, so congratulations.
Yeah, 8 years, good on you.
Yeah. It is.
It's not easy to do 8 years of anything.
Except podcasting. Yeah. What do you got coming up?
Like I said, the wife's out of town, so probably do the movie with the kid tomorrow night. And then I got a new version of Zombicide, which is a board game I like a lot. I had a Wild West version for the last couple of years. They just came out with a new one that's sort of a feudal Japan thing. So you can play it as a one player. It's like 1 to 6 players. So I'm probably going to spend a good portion of my Saturday just kind of getting to know it and play it as much as I can. And then Sunday, the kids got a recital Sunday evening out in the Claw, in Enum Claw.
Nice.
She's going to sing, and I can't remember the name of the song she's doing.
Is it solo?
But she's at in Maple Valley. There's a Voice of the Valley, and they do all kinds of musical instruments and singers and stuff. So this is the recital for all the kids that are in that program.
Oh, gotcha.
So she's going to do her song, and it's always fun because there's usually like 12 or 15 kids in the group, and they all come out and they fight their fears of being on stage.
It's huge.
It's great to cheer them on and do their thing. So that's Sunday night.
What song is she doing?
I can't remember. I think it's a Billie Eilish song.
She'd bring down the house.
Little fiddler on the roof.
I don't think so. Tamia.
Maybe something from Yentl.
Redhead girl.
I can't remember. Last time she did Alicia Keys, and that was kind of cool. So,
that is cool.
Alicia Keys is cool too.
And people love the Billie Eilish. People love that lady.
Jeez. Yeah.
That's neat.
Are you all caught up on The Last of Us?
No, I still...
a few episodes to go.
Well, since the one episode where the thing happened, I haven't gone back.
That took a beating, no pun intended, so...
I watched a terribly stupid movie.
Oh, what'd you watch?
With Logan Paul, who's one of the...
Oh.
Yeah, so it's called Airplane Mode.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of... YouTubers are going to a YouTube convention and just shenanigans happen on the airplane. Just it's a 13-year-old's movie. So when you were a 13-year-old boy,
you would have loved it.
Yes. So that's all that is, because it's just dumb.
Dick and fart jokes, a few boobies.
Yes,
and they're good.
Precisely.
Nice.
It's exactly that. But I laughed a couple times. Where I'm like, well, okay, that wasn't bad. But it's pretty dumb.
Nice.
So that was just popcorn brain.
Man, I found a competition cooking show that I've been kind of getting into. It's kind of interesting. I think it's been out for a couple of seasons at least. It's called 24 in 24. They take 24 chefs, and these chefs are mostly folks you would recognize if you watch competition cooking, like from Chopped or from Top Chef or from, whatever chef shows, Food Network type shows. But they take 24 of them, and it's filmed in a 24-hour period, so there's no breaks. There's episodes, but it's just, so they'll do segments where they'll do I think it's 6 4-hour segments is what they bring. It's like speed, artistry, adaptability, stuff like that. So they put them through these friggin' tests, but as soon as they're done cooking and stuff, it's like, all right, you guys made it through segment 2. And segment 3 starts right now, and they got to go for it. So by the end of the 24 hours, they're all like this. But they can earn breaks. There's a break room. They can earn time to go back if they do a good job. So it's sort of fascinating, and it's sort of addicting because you're like, oh man, what do they got to do now? So some recognizable faces if you watch those cooking shows.
That's
so it's
neat.
on Amazon Prime.
Jeez, that's
I think is what I've been watching. Or maybe it's on Max. It's on one of those.
That's really neat.
24 in 24. So it's kind of fun. And I like food.
Yeah,
Big fan of food.
No, it's cool. And food prep is art.
Yes,
right?
it really is.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's just certain, there's unlimited aspects to what that means.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and it's funny too. Some of the scenes, like for speed, we're going to have you dice 6 onions, pit 12 avocados, and prep 12 artichokes, right, where you gotta get to the artichoke heart. And they're sitting there doing this I own 4 restaurants, but I haven't had to chop onions
in mass, dude,
for 12 years.
Yeah, let alone somebody yelling at them. They've been doing the yelling for mass. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny to watch some of this stuff, but so,
that's neat.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Well, let's end this on something positive. What do you say? Stephen Colbert, who I think is Gen X, or at least he's right in there. You'll like this quote. He said, "I don't trust children. They're here to replace us."
Nice. Oh, I should have done that first.
And then I thought this was kind of funny. Slash from a little band called Guns N' Roses and et al. He said, "That's a wonderful side effect of leather pants. When you pee yourself in them, they're more forgiving than jeans."
Oh, interesting.
I've never owned a pair of leather pants.
Me neither.
So not really my thing.
Yeah.
So that's Gen X for you in a nutshell.
And that's also working on stage.
Yes.
Right? It's And plus, most of Use Your Illusion each song's 13 minutes. It's like...
We're going into the 4th stanza of
what the
November Rain. Wait, it's getting to the piano part.
Oh my God.
Oh man. All right, well folks, thanks for being here. We hope to see you on the members only section for the top 5 this week. If not, I guess we'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, blogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.